All right, boys, we are live on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and post the link and all that stuff on Instagram. You guys want to talk about whatever you want to talk about? Start it off. I'm going to be a couple minutes here.
Yeah, I just want to kick off by saying thanks for having me on. I'm MMAtoad. This is my boy down here, Lethal Hands Collectibles. We run our own thing. Lethal Toad MMA, a nice little collaboration. And shout out to Harry for having me on, man. Let's get it, Schmo. Let's fuck this card up. Now I'm gonna say 322 is the dopest card on paper since 300. It has the potential to be one of the best fight cards ever. But I mean, it's hard when you really think back and compare how 300 was on paper and in Deliverance. So we need some badass shit to happen.
Yo, so if you parlay the whole main card for it not to go the distance, you get plus 200, plus 2,000 odds.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been playing with that shit already. And you know me, I like my finish props and just enjoy a good knock or choke. I don't give a fuck who wins if I'm banking out. You know what I mean? I have my emotional picks, of course. But yeah, if we're making money, that doesn't hurt too bad too, you know.
No, I think you're going to have a few problems with going the distance this week, Toad. I've gone over this card, man. I've done the lethal fucking study, and wow, I don't know. I can't. I don't know whether a lot of fights are going to finish this weekend, especially on the main card. I'm not too sure, man. Like, it's interesting. It's an interesting one for you because I know you love the distance bets, mate. I know you love them.
Yeah. I'll get cooking. I'll let you guys know the official on that. But yeah, I do see some of these being tricky myself. You got to give respect to Bullet for being as tough as she has in her professional career. Whaley comes out like a bullet in her own regard, but she's also coming up in weight. So what does that look like, right?
Mate, I'm looking at look, we do our picks when we do our pod later on. And again, it's too close, man. You sort of got to wait to the weigh-ins, see how they look and all that. But I've reposted my picks. I'm pretty excited about this card being down under. Look, I think everyone's going to know what direction I'm going to go in. Obviously, I have to back my boy. There's fucking no doubt about that. But I do have some issues backing my boy. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I feel you on that. Definitely feel you on that.
Your boy's gonna cost me a lot of money. So,
dude, it's
imagine that shit.
The odds on JDM at the moment, I don't know whether you guys get the odds there because when Tony and I do our pod, I sort of get all the methods and all that a little bit early down under. But at the moment, just JDM to win is $3.16 to 1. His knockout is $4.50. His subs $7. The odds are pretty good for JDM as far as making money, and you can't say it's a helpless act. You can't say it's like, oh, that's impossible, because this fight's not impossible. Islam had a problem with a smaller man in Volk. You know what I mean? I know Islam's got up bigger. He's got up in size. He looks huge right now, but JDM's just a natural 170, man. He doesn't have to get up or get small. That's how he runs. He just runs like a straight V8. He doesn't need a tune-up. He doesn't need a cut weight. He just runs at 170. So I don't know. These are the problems I'm having picking this fight. But emotionally, yeah, I've got to go my boy.
Yeah, I get it, man. Trust me. We're going to definitely talk about that fight. I think JDM's being a little disrespected on the line. If you want my opinion on it.
Yep.
Ultimately, I mean, I've already dropped my picks, so people that are watching on my channel, they already know. I'm still going with Islam Makhachev, but I agree. I think there's a lot of problems that JDM, has for Islam, man. Things that he hasn't seen, problems that he's faced that JDM does better than the other people that, that did those against Islam. So regardless, we'll get there. What part of Australia are you from, by the way?
Toowoomba, Queensland, mate. So
you're on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. So not the WA side where they always put the UFC on the western side of Australia. I don't know why they do that. Half the population or 3/4 are on the eastern side. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. So I'm in Queensland, mate. About 2 hours from the Gold Coast.
There we go. Right on. All right. Hey, anything else you guys want to talk about before we get into this card and start giving our breakdowns?
No, thanks again for having us on. I'm geeking out already. We haven't even talked about an official pick, an official anything yet. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And by the way,
Let's
guys,
fucking do it.
for whoever's watching at the bottom, everybody's Instagram. Go follow everybody on Instagram. Follow them on YouTube if they have that. Chris, what's up, bro? You said you're making a YouTube, Danabblack MMA. We have the crazy ass content. We need a YouTube channel, bro.
You're right. I've been fucking procrastinating with that shit, man. It's in the works though. I just need to hire an editor and I'm good.
Come on, bro.
It's hard because I got a fucking blue collar job at the same time I'm trying to balance out and shit. So you feel me? So it's a lot of shit going on with the Danabblack outside the camera shit. You feel me?
Yep. We got Lemmy Blocks in the chat saying, bro, hi. What up, dog? What's going on, Lemmy?
What up?
All right. So, hey, let's get into the first fight of the night. I'm going to give this up, obviously, to you guys. Start first. I don't know how you want to do it. Take turns. Play nice with each other. Whoever wants to take this first fight first. But it's Slava Claus, Vyacheslav Borshev, and he's taking on Mateus Camilo. Who wants to take this one first?
Mate, look, I'll shoot Slava first, mate, only because my boy Tom Nolan from Australia kicked his ass not more than a few months ago. Very easy fight. I said to Toad on a pod, my boy Tom Nolan used to be my plumber when he was 16 years old. He's now the bloody up at 155. Mate, by the way, he gave me his first ever fight gloves, man. So his XFA fight gloves. Signed for my 50th birthday. So shout out to Tom Nolan. Thank you very much, Big Train. But Tom Nolan kicked Slava Claus's ass. Slava lost his last fight. I'm not really going for Slava. I think he's on a downhill spiral here. He might pull it off. He might not. But I'm going to keep this one short, mate. I'm going Camilo. Probably by finish. Slava's prone to get finished. So I'm definitely taking Camilo by finish in this fight. I'm going to keep that one short.
Did you say 50th birthday?
Yeah.
God damn, you look good for 50, brother.
52 now, bro.
52.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's because we fucking down under, mate. We're all laid back, relaxed down here. There's no stress.
Fighting spiders and shit. Toad, what you got on this fight?
Honestly, I might have to reconsider where I fucking live at. Shit, down under don't sound too bad right now. Fucking hate the U.S. sometimes.
Yeah, Australians don't age that bad. Issue is they get bit by a fly and they die. That's just how it works over there. Good to have you with us. Keep your ass inside watching these fights, Lethal. Don't go outside. Yeah, Slava Claus, when you look at this fool, his little fucking egghead ass gets cracked. Humpty Dumpty ass cracked. And it's like Slava Claus, he welcomes the violence. He's normally, he's cool with it. There's a lot of blood. He's doing his thing. But I've never been able to look at him the same since that fight with Hooper. And I'm not trying to discredit like the improvements that Hooper knew he had to make coming into that fight to have that threat on the feet and not just be a crotch sniffer. Get the fight there first. But it's because Slava is just struggling to be excellent in both areas. And we find ourselves being like, man, that guy's tough. Typically, you're telling yourself that guy's losing the fight. So I got to go Matthias, despite he doesn't have the same experience or the same level of competition that Slava's fought, isn't really going Slava's way. So, yeah, I got to fade him.
Yeah, fair. Harry.
Hey, man, listen, if Slava understands how to use the space inside this 30-footer for this pay-per-view fight against Mateus Camilo, Camilo's getting winded in the third, man, and he's losing a decision. Now, if Camilo, had good trainers around him, coaches, and he has a plan to get Slava out of there in the first round, that's the smartest thing he could do. Or win a whole round with control time in the second or third. That's it, man. That's just how it goes.
Chris, what do you got? Danabblack.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Camilo on this one because based on like what I've recently seen from Slava, I just can't see a way in which he wins. You feel me? I just can't see a way. I mean, I'm no longer a believer in him. Like I like him a lot, but I just can't believe in him no more. Especially after that Chase Hooper shit. I have not been able to believe in him at all. You feel me? I may or may not have had money on him in a couple fights or so, but might be a little biased there. But I just cannot see him winning this fight. Honestly, I just can't.
Yeah. And shout out Cancer in the chat. What up, y'all? He's back. He's back, guys.
Cancer,
all right,
my boy Cancer.
Hey, look, and I'm with you guys. I mean, look, it's Mateus Camilo all day. Harry, I feel you on the cardio issue. I just don't think we ever get to that third round, man. I agree with what Lethal and Chris were saying. It's that, man, it's that Chase Hooper performance. And I love Chase Hooper. I think he's a phenomenal grappler. He's definitely made improvements in the striking. But for you to be a guy in Slava Claus who's supposed to be this high-level striker, and I know he came over late, just to get outclassed on the feet by Chase Hooper is not a good look. This guy, Mateus Camilo, is a super athlete, man. He's sharp. He throws heavy. He's got good takedowns. He's just too well-rounded, too young for Slava. I think this is probably the end of the road for Slava Claus, which is terrible for a fucking early Christmas present. But I'm going Mateus Camilo, so I think we're I think we're all in agreement, right? Pretty much.
Dino, short notice too, brother. No more than 30 days notice, just like with Chepe and Sabatini.
GM3 a couple fights on this card,
Wellmaker Haddon, Brady Morales.
Yeah. A lot of fights on this card are short notice, so we'll see what impact that has. That usually fucks up the betting side of things a little bit. You know more about that than I do, but we're all pretty much in agreement here. I think we're all going to be in agreement on this one, even though I've seen some people going the other way, including in one of the chats that we're in, Harry. Beisinger Susarkayev -800 versus Eric McConico. I was at the UFC Chicago card. We saw Beisinger's UFC debut. It was kind of disappointing. He got himself a finish, but there were moments in that fight where he looked a little sus. He's a lot younger than a lot of people think he is, so there's room for improvement. Ultimately, I'm just going to give this to you guys really fast. I think Vegas has it right. -800's a lot. I will not be sprinkling on that if I'm betting, just because I think this guy has a ton of deficiencies in his game. He's not quite there yet. I still expect him to beat Eric McConico, who is a dangerous guy in his own right. So I guess Susarkayev finish for late first, early second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell that. Yeah, McConico was on the high school football team, man. He was a running back, athlete. And it's funny because there's a parallel to him and Jared Cannonier, the MMA lab, about, how they got their whole career started late in their 30s. I mean, in their early 30s. But, McConico, he's just developed very well. And I think got as a nepo to the gym and his friend, he was provided this opportunity to fight in the UFC. But other than that, man, he's getting work, man, by points or finish. I don't think this is the spot to showcase Susarkayev in a way where he can get taken down and much worse controlled so early, in his career, especially with the roster now in that weight class. You can matchmake him up very well. Whereas if he's exposed now, that kind of ruins things.
Yeah. It's matchmaking. They're doing him a favor with the matchmaking. Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, y'all know me. Y'all know I like to do my little hedge betting shit. Susarkayev is one of my fucking locks. He better take care of business. Because, like, when I analyzed Eric McConico, like, he's just not technical enough at all, especially for a guy like Susarkayev. Like, he's just going to pick his ass apart early. Mid-round 2 KO is what I'm predicting, but this should be easy fucking money. I'm going to put this on some nice little parlays. I'm going to hedge my ass off, and I should make some free fucking money. So, Susarkayev, you better take care of fucking business.
Toad,
what do we got? Take care of business. Just do what you're supposed to do. I don't even give a fuck if he gets a finish or not, because I don't do that prop shit. You feel me? Right. I'm too scared to do that prop shit.
Yeah, I mean, normally when someone's like a 8-1 favorite, like Lethal and I say it every time, that other guy better be in a body bag. They ought to be getting dragged the fuck out, because that is such a high prop to have. And to your guys' points, he's definitely kind of shown the world he's far more human than Hamzat was, especially off the rip, against a guy who is also, to be fair, all not that great. But if you can be grit and you can bucker down and throw counter strikes, which, I mean, Eric has the potential to do a bit in this fight, he could make it interesting. And I know from a pick standpoint, it's hard to really fade Beisinger. I mean, he's definitely still, at the end of the day, got a much higher ceiling than what we already know about Eric. So from a betting standpoint, I like the fight to end by a knockout. I'll play with those props. I'll look at different round props and kind of mix it around there. But it's going to be very hard not to fucking put a little tiny sprinkle on like Eric upset fucking prop, like at the end of the day, I'm talking the smallest sprinkle, because if all your parlays and all your bullshit falls out with Beisinger, that's such a small sprinkle to help offset and guarantee yourself some bread. That's all I got to say on that one. So
Yeah,
I'll be playing with that one a little bit at that prop all day. So,
and that's what this guy Cancer in the chat's talking about. He said, if he wins, I'll be mad I didn't take the plus 500 for sure.
You don't even have to. You just sprinkle a little bit, and I swear it will all offset and make everything great. Lethal does it all the fucking time. He's calling out all the old ass unks at the barbecue all fucking day. That's my boy Lethal down here. He loves calling those plus 600s. We got Neil Magny as part of our little Mud Hut group. I mean, he's a gangster. He's always there that second, third round live. So anyways, yeah, we like these underdog props a bit when they're that disrespectful. But yeah, I'm not going to fade Beisinger. I'm expecting much of this guy. So
right. So full agreement with me and you, because again, I just want to clarify before we get to Lethal here real quick. I fully expect Beisinger Susarkayev to win this fight. There are just deficiencies in his game, right? So a guy like Eric McConaughey, who is that big and strong and fucking powerful, has power in his hands. He could catch this guy. We did see Susarkayev wobbled in that Chicago fight. Yeah. So, this is another fight in the UFC. Who knows? Minus 800 is crazy. Plus 575 is crazy. Lethal, do you have any groundbreaking news, or is it more of the same?
Mate, it's more of the same. Basically, look, as Toad said, I love the long shots, mate. I make a lot of money on it. I pick them carefully. Not every fight on a card is going to be a long shot. So I average on each card, you probably get about 4 or 5 long shot. It's up to me or us to try and find them. Which one is it? This isn't one of them. All right. This is not one of those long shots. I'm not parlaying this piece at all. I have Toad and I do a thing every week where I do a gift or something for something out of my room goes to someone somewhere in the world, if they can pick the entire card, right? So far, since we've been doing it for 6 months, one person has picked the entire card, and he got bloody $1,000 worth of GSP autos, brother. 21 prisms, beautiful cards. One of my first pieces, actually, because no one picks the whole card because there's always something that goes wrong. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I am going to sprinkle $10, right? Just $10 on Eric, just because, dude, if he does happen to win, I get $80. That's a good start to my day. Yeah. I can't see him winning at all. But again, with those odds, $10 is a small price to get $80 back, just in case. And it is right at the beginning of the card. So, if you do fuck something up, if you're doing the whole fucking 13-fight parlay and you fuck up the second one, you can quickly reignite it, start again from Angela Hill and work forward. But bar that, mate, this fight's finishing by TKO, I presume, or sub. It's ending. As the great Charles Sutton said, $4 is stretcher, $5 is hospital. I don't know what $7 is, man. That's the shadow realm. So obviously off to the shadow realm for old mate. And good luck. But I ain't going to give him $10 out of my pay just to sit back, and I won't be unhappy if he does win, because I'll get $80 back anyway, and I'm able to restart again. But definitely that's the only way I'm playing this one.
And then I'll add in 2 things on top of that. I mean, I know me and Harry really kind of travel down this road a lot, where we talk about themes of cards and patterns in cards. Obviously, the UFC, for what it's worth, they sort of have a relationship with the Middle East, right? They do a lot of Abu Dhabi cards. Now they're in Saudi Arabia and Doha and all that. Islam Makhachev's in the main event against your guy, JDM. So they're really catering this card to the Arab world and to Oceania, right? That's kind of the 2 themes of this card. They're going to want this guy to win to keep those fans interested. So Beisinger Susarkayev is being given a layup of a matchup here. Second thing, Lethal, you mentioned nobody gets the whole card straight. Harry, a year ago today, the anniversary of your boy smacking the entire card, which led you to reach out to me. Let's collab. So it's me and Harry's 1 year little anniversary here on YouTube together.
Hold on.
There we go.
Done.
There we go. Thank you, guys.
Funny story. That's actually how Lethal and I crossed paths, because although only one person hit his shit, it was the Noche card where I only missed by one, being the Torres fight. And he said, I thought for sure that was going to you. So
I rang him up at 1 in the morning.
It led to all of our shit. Lethal Toad MMA. So funny story.
Rang him up at 1 in the morning going, dude, you nearly got my whole Noche collection. I had 1-on-1s in there and 10s. My ass was sweating, mate. It was going like this. But I was so excited for him that I had to ring him and just go, wow, dude, that was awesome, man. One more card and you nearly had it, mate. But that's how we got started.
I'm just, I got to point it out, like, that's crazy. That's how you guys met, because likewise here. So good shit. Yeah, not surprised. We're all part of the same community and cross paths. I've been following Harry's shit for like 2 years now. He's always pretty sharp. So enjoyed the picks a long ways ago.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hey, let's keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We move on to the next fight of the night, guys. We've got Angela Hill taking on Fatima Klein. Sort of a crossroads fight, right? Angela Hill, the veteran, she's been here forever. She's sort of a pioneer in women's MMA. She's taking on Fatima Klein, who has so much fanfare behind her. It's rare that you see a woman coming into MMA without the accolades of like a Ronda Rousey, right, who was an Olympic medalist, the Kayla Harrison, who's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, or whatever the case is. Fatima Klein, an MMA fighter, coming in with a lot of fanfare. A lot of people think she's the future of women's MMA, a future champion, at least the future title contender, taking on a veteran in Angela Hill. How does anyone see this fight? Let's start with Chris. What's up, brother? What do you got?
Yeah, so I've been doing a little bit of film on this one. I want to lock in, like, I want to make Fatima Klein my lock so bad for these fucking parlays, but Angela Hill is just a stubborn motherfucker. Like, she's hard to fucking finish. Like, whenever it goes to a decision, like, her chances of winning are pretty fucking high because she is a fucking decision merchant. Like, I want to lock Fatima, but at the same time, I'm a little scared that Angela Hill is going to turn back the clock because, unks and aunties, they've been doing their fucking thing this year. You feel me? They've been doing their fucking thing. This is the year of the unk. So I'm a little scared. I'm contemplating whether or not I want to hedge this fight, but logically I'm picking Fatima Klein and Angela Hill. I think she's on a losing streak right now. She's old as fuck. You feel me? So I don't know. I'll probably decide by like Friday night because I'll be up all night, like putting the parlays together Friday night. I'm going to decide by then as to whether or not I want to lock Fatima Klein or not. But I'm going to go ahead and pick her.
All right, and then Cancer saying in the chat, he's like, Hill's very spotty, wins 2, loses 1, wins, like whatever. She's just back and forth, bouncing up and down, all that. Pause. I didn't mean to say it like that. But he's saying this is off my parlay, and MK says Hill also got screwed in a lot of split decisions, though, which is true. She makes the fights close, though. That's kind of your point, right? She's a veteran. Yes. She knows how to win rounds. She knows how to make shit look good. And it is what it is. Lethal, what do you got for me on this fight? Anything groundbreaking?
Mate, look, Hill's a machine. Her cardio is amazing. She's a grinder. She's not scared. Her split point decision fighting is pretty there. She's been pushing that aggression. That submission when she got really impressed me, man. Like, and then I do remember her saying she wants to do more, get more submissions, So I'm just sort of sitting back and look. I have to parlay everything because that's how I'm wired. I have to get the whole card. So I can't miss a parlay. I have to do the whole card. I'm pushing Hill.
Really?
I don't think Hill's over the hill. I think at $4.75, I can't believe I'm going to say this, man. I don't know whether it's a dream, but I think she's going to maybe take it to the ground. She wants to finish this. This is her moment. God, I hate doing this. It's especially for these fights, these ones right here, because I don't want to be involved, but I have to. But I'm going to make a call, and this is where it's going to stuff me around. I will put $10 on the Hill just to win. I'll keep a separate parlay of my 12 going on with Clyde just to keep me safe, and I will keep Hill just there. On that, I might have 2 12-leg parlays going on then, just like she's unpredictable. She's just unpredictable, and that's the problem I have. Like whoever who just jumped on with a comment then. She's 3 losses, 2 losses. She wins 1. I'm looking at maths here. If you're going maths and probability is part of maths, she might be due for a win. Like, you know, like if that's all we can go off, apart from the skills of Klein, obviously, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot to go off here. But I'm saying if we're not talking about skills and we're talking about punting and we're talking about Hill being over the hill, I don't think so. And at $4.75, again, that's crazy. That means she's getting finished in this fight.
Yeah.
I don't see Hill getting finished in this fight. That's what
No,
I'm
she's
going.
definitely not getting finished.
Yeah,
And
so
I agree with that.
I don't see it getting finished. So $4.75 for Hill to win. Klein's at $1.20 in Australia. That's not even worth putting money on for her. But Hill at $4.75, I think that's not a bad odd for Angela Hill, I think, because she's not getting finished. I'm going to put that out there. If she doesn't get finished, that means she can win. I'm just throwing that out there as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just throwing that one out there. Is it going to be 30-27, 30-27, or is it going to be 29-28, 29-28? I think it's going to be along those lines. So I don't think Klein's going to be running through her like a bulldozer. I haven't seen many people run through Hill, too many lately running through her. Jasmine had a good day with Hill, so that was about as bad as it got for Hill. But I think I have to go Hill. I'm going to take this as my first long shot of the night.
And to be fair, and Cancer just said it in the chat, Angela Hill, at least as of late, since 2021, her losses have been a high-level competition, right? It's people that have fought for the title, champions. We got Amanda Lemos, Verna Janjanova, Mackenzie Dern, who's now the champion, which is fucking crazy. Yeah. Tabitha Ricci, Yasmin Lucindo, like pretty good talent. And then she has a couple of good wins on there as well. Toad, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, Hill, I kind of think of her like the Ani, the Nieletta Magni of the division. You know what I mean? She's game in those second, third rounds. She generally struggles in the first. Fatima Klein. Yeah, I'm not too against from the things I'm seeing. And in my opinion, too many people are fading her because she lost to still one of the top, people of this division, and Jasmine Jazidivius. I still hold her to a high regard. Sad it didn't go her way against Marone. Getting smacked with that fucking counter shot really did make her do the stanky leg. But at the end of the day, she's got tremendous fucking pressure. She's got tremendous fucking grind. So having that loss doesn't mean shit to me. I still hold Klein to a bit of a higher ceiling yet in her career. Hill's been there. She's been proving it. It's tough to say with her. I like the fight to go to the judges. If the prop's not too bad there, that's a great parlay piece from a decision standpoint. But yeah, it's tough to ride Hill when it's so inconsistent. And I do think we're at the end of our ropes with her, and we're going to get a fucking karate hottie 20-minute video about Hill at the Apex, even though we do all these goats like shit when it comes time to play their movies. So anyway, Klein's the pick, but wouldn't be surprised if Hill wins either, just being a vet. So this would be another great sprinkle for an upset, but keep it on my parlays.
Harry from Proschmobets.
Fatima Klein's Thai boxing is sharp, man. But it's not far-fetched to say that Angela could potentially finish her. The only way she could do it is against the octagon wall and working her boxing, inside boxing, and clinch knees. It's going to be tough, though, because it's going to drain her out. But that's one very probable way to get it done. Other than that, it's Fatima Klein on the money line because she has the takedown. If you think about it, just picture or simulate the fights with Tisha Pennington, Denise Gomez, Fatima Klein, and old girl here, Angela Hill.
Yeah, I agree pretty much, right? I'm going Fatima Klein here. I love me some Angela Hill, man. And real quick, shout out to Justin James. He just messaged me. I don't know if he's watching or not, but I met Angela Hill and her husband in Iowa this year. Had a couple drinks with them at the bar, and I was like, your husband looks just like Justin James. So that's random. But anyways, look, I love Angie. I think she can win this fight. The pick is Fatima Klein. As far as betting, I'm not touching this one, right? A lot of people throw this concept up out there, which is like, if you don't like the price, if you think it's like too steep, bet the other side. which is fair. That's a betting mentality to have. And I bet if you do that a lot in the long run, that's how you become a betting sharp. I just want nothing to do with this fight. I'll be rooting for Angela Hill. I fully believe in the skills of Fatima Klein being a top 15, top 10, even top 5 fighter here in the near future. So give me Fatima Klein. I do think it goes to decision, by the way. I think all of us decided that, right? We don't see Angela Hill getting finished, and that way she has a possibility of winning a decision. MK hops on, says, having drinks with Hill and her husband in a bar seems like a really chill experience. It was pretty chill. It was pretty chill. You know who was not chill was Michael Bisping was an asshole. He was there as well. But anyways, that's another story for another day. We move on to the next fight, and it's a super goddamn interesting fight, guys. A rematch of a fight years ago outside of the UFC. We have the grappler, Pat Sabatini, versus an absolute dog in Chepe Mariscal. Not only is he a dog as a fighter, he's a dog on the prices here. On the odds, he's plus 110, and he won the previous matchup. I'm going to start with you, Harry. What do you see here?
Man, Chepe, you know, he could get it done with the boxing. He's learned quite a lot from Gaethje. So those kicks, although imminent, I think they won't be effective. Sabatini is going to try and lock those hands in against the wall. Chepe is going to have to fight with hooks and push him off. If he gets taken down and controlled, I'm pretty sure in later rounds, Chepe is going to find ways to scramble out and just get his spacing to strike with Sabatini. Hopefully he could knock him out, man. He's going to have to be a dog, like you mentioned in there, and finish him, right? That's what Chepe's done in the UFC.
Yeah. So what do you got? What's the official pick?
Chepe Mariscal on the money line.
Fair. And I agree with you. I'll just throw mine out there real quick here. I agree with you, but I'm having a little trouble with this fight. I could see why the odds are so close. I don't understand, however, why Chepe is the underdog in this one. I do expect them to win this fight. I think he's live for a finish late. Pat Sabatini is such a streaky fighter, man. I mean, he is a phenomenal wrestler. He's got great jiu-jitsu skills, unbelievable submission skills, but he seems like on the feet, he's very green. I mean, he's got some good techniques on the feet, but he just doesn't look well refined. And Chepe Mariscal has shown us nothing except for the fact that he's a dog in the UFC. Guy goes out there, he's won every fight. This is a fight that he's won before. Pat Sabatini being older now, Chepe Mariscal still on the way up in his career, and I feel like how much more is there for Pat Sabatini to ascend, really, right? This has got to be the apex or him moving down. So,
Dino, what I also realized? He's the Cage Fury champion, right? The grappling champion.
Who is that?
Pat Sabatini.
It makes sense. I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but that would. Yeah.
And with that said, UFC is moving the BJJ flagship, forward. Well, they need him there. So I think this is his going out party. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, I recognize game,
Yeah, I could see it, man. I could see it. I think Chepe Mariscal still just has room to improve, and I don't see it from Pat Sabatini. So I'm going Mariscal TKO round 3. I think there's going to be relentless pressure, relentless pace. And as long as he keeps Pat Sabatini off of like positive positions for him on the ground, he wins this fight everywhere else, right? So that's how I see it. Toad, go for it.
Yeah, just to wrap this one up, I mean, Chepe, I think it's pretty safe to say if he can keep the fight on the feet, fight's his for the taking. Sabatini's live on the ground. I don't care what position they're in. He's pretty game. He can roll with it. And, I expect these props to shift by the end of the week. So we might try to play some plus money on either side here. But I don't see it happening by Sabatini, unless it's a submission upset. So I got to roll a Chepe money line. I think he's one of the great plus money guys on this card. I'm feeling pretty confident in overall. And, I think Sabatini's about at the end of his MMA career. So he's been in there with some fantastic guys. Nothing to be upset about. Just kind of at the end of it for him, I think.
Okay, so you and Harry are comfortable betting this at plus money for Chepe. Lethal, what do you got? You comfortable betting this?
Yeah, I'm with Harry and the Toad, mate. Anyway, Sabatini's got this. He's only got one path to victory, only one, and that's a submission, which is all good. He's really good at it. He's amazing. If he gets him on the ground and Chepe has a bad day on the ground, I don't see that. Chepe's a grinder. He's a fighter. He literally is a fighter. So he will fight. He will not lay. He will fight. He'll get back to his feet. He will scramble. He will throw. He will kick. He's got many more tools in the toolbox to win this fight. And again, he's the long shot down under as well. I've got to go Chepe. If you have to throw money on a submission, there's only one way Sabatini wins this. So it's submission. So I'd throw it, and I'm going to really be confident. I don't see how Sabatini can win this. His submission prop $7 to 1.
Jeez.
So at 7 to 1, if he pulls off the submission at 7 to 1, you can sprinkle a little bit of money on that. But I'm parlaying Chepe all day, brother.
Yeah.
There we go. And then Ralph in the chat says we need a Danabblack ex MMA Guru collab. Shit, if we can get the Guru on here. Hey, we had MMA Joey on here last time. If we can get Guru, I'll fucking debate. I'll be like the moderator between their debate. Chris, you're more than welcome to join, dog. But let's hear your pick. What do you got, Chepe and Sabatini?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to pick Chepe, man. I'm gonna have to pick Chepe because like Lethal said, Sabatini only has one path to victory, and like I'm always gonna choose the guy that has like more dynamicity in terms of ways he can win a fight. So I'm gonna just have to go with Chepe on that. Now, as far as betting goes, I'm absolutely not touching that on the fucking betting lines because I'm just not entirely super familiar with either of their games. I haven't done a breakdown on them yet this week, but once I do, maybe I'll consider betting on it. But I kind of already have my parlays in my head and like the fights I want to bet on in my head already. So I don't know if I want to watch that and then like have it fuck it up the order. You feel me? I don't want to overthink the shit.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, I'm choosing Chepe.
So we're all going Chepe pretty much. Pat Sabatini, the live prop is the submission. So if we're going that way, so I guess sprinkle on that. It might be worth it at 7 to 1. We move on to the next fight. And Chris, I'll let you start with this one. We got the returning Kyle Dawkins. Last time out, got himself a fucking wild, unpredictable, shocking knockout. And he's taking on the veteran GM3, Gerald Meerschaert. Plus 300 for GM3. Chris, what do you got in this fight?
Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one because I fucking love Gerald Meerschaert. I love Gerald Meerschaert to death. He's always showing love on my Instagram page and shit. Love him to death. Literally one of my favorite fighters, right? But, you know, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's been finished a couple of times. And Kyle Dawkins, I feel like his grappling is good enough to cancel out the strengths of Gerald Meerschaert. And even though Kyle Dawkins isn't like spectacular on the feet by any means, he's definitely better than Gerald Meerschaert on the feet, in my honest opinion. You feel me? And he's in his physical prime. You know, Meerschaert's getting old. He's on a losing streak and shit. You feel me? I feel like Kyle Dawkins has enough fight IQ to not be a dumbass and try to take it to the fucking ground where Meerschaert can do his thing. You feel me? So I'm going to have to go with Kyle Dawkins. And honestly, I think Kyle Dawkins is a fucking lock. I think he's one of the few locks on this card, honestly.
Yeah. I'll just agree with you real fast. I'm in 100% agreement. I love GM3. Good friends with his coach, Jason Stroud, over at Kill Cliff. When they were in Chicago, we hung out with them for a little bit. GM3 is an absolute veteran. He's an absolute professional, always prepares himself well. But I like what I've been seeing out of Kyle Dawkins lately, man. Gets cut from the UFC, goes on and becomes the CFFC champion, defends that belt a couple times, steps in on short notice to fight Michel Pereira in his return to the UFC, and everybody was counting him out. He goes out there and starches Michel Pereira. I don't think anybody saw that coming. That was super goddamn impressive. So I'm riding with him here as well. I think minus 380 is solid. I like it for a parlay piece. I like it as a straight bet if you got some capital to throw on it. And that's really all I got to say about that. Really goddamn impressed with Kyle Dawkins. Harry, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, man, it's Kyle Dawkins all the way, man. He's no exceptional grappler or striker like you guys say, because he doesn't come from like a collegiate wrestling system or boxing system from a young age. Absolutely not. I think he was like his brother. They shared employment through law enforcement, right?
I know his brother did. I don't know that he did, but I know his brother did.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
So yeah, Kyle Dawkins on the money line.
Free cheese. Lethal.
Mate, Dawkins all day. Only reason why, unfortunately, GM3, man, I'm also a bit of a fan too. You just can't fight on your feet. You just haven't got it. You spent all these years in the UFC, brother, and you still can't fight on your feet. And Kyle Dawkins is just getting better and better on his feet. He is a younger version, and I agree. I think his grappling Cole Dorcas grappling. I think it's underrated. I mean, everyone's going GM3 grappling, but remember, Cole Dorcas came into the UFC as a grappler.
Exactly.
He came in as a submission person, you know what I mean? And then he sort of lost, and then his brother out, and all that happened. Now he's back. I don't know. I've got Dorcas by TKO, only because Merchant there's only one path to victory. Again, it's only one way, and unfortunately, his stand-up is way below par to stand up to Dorcas, or yet alone anyone that's been in the UFC so far. He hasn't. Reminds me of a bit of a Chase Hooper in the stand-up division, sort of, really good grappler, improving his stand-up, but it's just not improving as quickly as it should be improving. It should be getting to a few more levels now. Unfortunately, I think Merchant, we still need you on the roster. I don't want you to go anywhere. But yeah, you've got a young, hungry lion coming in, and I think he's going to try and take your head off.
Yeah, agreed. And I love the fact that Gerald Mearshart's always down to fight, man. A veteran being this active late in his career. Love to see that. By the way, whoever's in the chat, like the stream, leave a comment, subscribe, do all that shit. Toad, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, definitely riding the train on this one. Dawkins, he's secure in both areas. He's definitely imposing a greater threat with the striking, which opens up the finish here. But GM3, he's live, man. I was always sad they didn't make him fight Paul Craig, two guys that can't figure it out on the feet. But, man, you get those guys on the ground. What a fucking masterclass. So if GM3 is on your back at all, hard to see you coming out of it. He is one of the guys that gets the position, keeps the position, and typically ends up with a finish, and the numbers don't lie. But not against Kyle. I think Kyle's a little bit too familiar there. If it does go to the ground, he's able to survive and get the fight reset. It's not like GM3 gets him to the ground and it's over. He was never able to get up. So I see Kyle, even if the fight gets reset and we see a second round, he's back on the feet, he's back swinging, and GM3 gets cracked.
Yeah.
Fight by finish, though, we'll be fucking with those props. We'll be playing with that one.
Yeah, so we're all on the same side on that one. Real quick, Cancer in the chat says, this is a tough one. Loved Kyle's last fight. He really surprised me. Then he says, according to him, he's got a new game plan. I'm going to trust it for this fight. Cancer, who said they have a new game plan? Dawkins or GM3? Let me know. Dawkins said that?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. So
ain't
we
nothing
move
wrong
on
with the one he's got. Curious to see. God dang.
That's what I'm saying. He won a title. He was really goddamn impressive in CFFC. That's kind of where I turned. I still didn't think he had a chance against Michel Pereira, especially early on. I thought if he's going to beat Michel Pereira, it was going to be Pereira fading, which is what we've been accustomed to. That was not the case at all.
Can I just chime in by saying it's all about how that dude comes out. Pereira thinks he's at a carnival and he's doing cartwheels and he's showing up like a fucking clown. He gets looking like a clown real quick in that fight and loses. So fuck Michel Pereira. He's a big ranked name, sure, but that dude is so random in how he shows up in fights. It's fucking stupid.
100%. And
fuck that guy.
We were at UFC 264. That was the Conor and Poirier trilogy fight. Michel Pereira was on that card versus Nico Price. And I want to say that was the last fight where he was doing all the flips and shit, and he won that fight. So I was like, he's doing this fucking nonsense, but it works out for him sometimes. Then other times you see him absolutely fading and gassing out in 15 seconds when he does that shit. Super unreliable, but goddamn, he was on a tear for a little bit after switching divisions.
And half the shit's illegal, too. That's what's cool. It's like, well, he did do a bicycle kick, so we'll let him have that knee, I guess. Kick to the fucking head, so.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move on to the next fight. And it's a really goddamn interesting one, right? Because we've got two up-and-coming guys here. First and foremost, Malcolm Wellmaker, right? He's going to be out of the red corner here. An American taking on a Australian fighter. Now, Malcolm Wellmaker, to me, has all the potential to be a star in this organization, man. He's young. He's flashy. He's got nasty power. He's putting people on a highlight reel. He's got the look. He's got all of that. I just don't understand the matchmaking here because you're not giving him that Sean O'Malley early career path, right? You're not giving him the Bo Nickel path where you're just trying to raise his stock. This is a genuinely tough fight against a very tough-ass fighter in Cody Haddon. And while we're here and we have our resident Aussie here, I think it's only right to start. with you. So go ahead, Lethal. Talk to me about this fight.
Mate, look, you got two rookies, two brand new guys, two fights, one fight in UFC. They haven't really fought anyone. Wellmaker beat Saman by knockout, and then he beat Chris Montino. And we know Chris Montino was the sacrificial lamb for Sean O'Malley. We know that, poor bastard. So, okay, knocked them out, finished them. Very impressive. Again, the resume that the people that you beat wasn't that cool. Haddon beats Dan Argueta. Okay, interesting. Dan Argueta got a decent sort of background. He's got great wrestling. He's fucking strong. He moves forward. And then he did win his last fight from memory. Is that correct? Dan Argueta did win his last fight, I think.
Dan Argueta, I know he retired in his last fight. Let me take a look. Dan Argueta, he lost his Cody Haddon was his retirement fight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So you retired on that fight.
Yes.
So I'll just be going, look, I already picked this already. I already went Wellmaker. I think he is the new guy on the block. And I sort of think that they did give him an easy 2 fights in the UFC. They did give him a sort of Sean O'Malley path in a way. Yeah. They gave him Sean O'Malley scraps. They gave him Chris Montano, they gave him that dude. They gave him Cameron Simon. Hey, he was moving forward, but he hasn't sort of done much. I have to go Wellmaker. I'm not backing the Aussie on this one, mate. I can't see the Aussie finishing this. I just don't think, and honestly, it's a fight I would like to stay away from, only because they're too young in their careers, and I'm not willing to gamble my own money on people that are still trying to find their way through their career. You know what I mean? Right at the beginning, it's hard to look at, but I'm a gambler at heart. I love this shit. So Malcolm Wellmaker, I don't see a finish. I could see it stretching out a little bit. Both of them are, again, new in the UFC. They will be tentative. They're not going to go in and kill each other and run in like bulls. You know how all the rookies start. They sort of start off very tentative. They feel each other out. There's 5 minutes gone. They'll start fighting each other in the second round. It'll go to decision, yeah. So Wellmaker by points maybe, or by decision. But, yeah, I sort of staying away on this fight. I'm sort of keeping it all for that main card, but definitely because I'm only investing $300 this week. So what I do is I invest $300. I mix up some shit. I take some long shots. I put a few different parlays together. And my objective at the end of the day, guys, is to see whether I walk out with more than $300 on Sunday, man. So definitely have to go against the Aussie on this one. Sorry, brother. But they did give you Wellmaker, and Wellmaker is I believe, is a tuned fighting machine. I think he's got what it takes.
Yeah, it just feels like a star-making moment, man, at Madison Square Garden. My point with the easy matchmaking, I know he's had easy matchmaking up until this point. My point was more that Cody Haddon is not those guys, right? That this is a tough matchup to give this kid on a massive card, where I would think the idea is to push Malcolm Wellmaker. So I just don't understand tough matchmaking here. Maybe he is that goddamn good and he makes it look easy. Ralph in the chat says this is an easy lock for Wellmaker. But then Danabblack, Chris, he also says to you, I know this is off topic, but you got to follow me back on my Dana Brown account. He lost his old one. So if you know what he's talking about,
I know what he's talking about.
Hit your boy back and follow him. Guys, I got to go off camera for 1 second. Shoot him a DM, Ralph. I got to go off camera for 1 second. Chris, take it. What do you got on this fight?
Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. I think there's a lot of value on Cody Haddon as an underdog, because I was looking at some of Wellmaker's stats, right? Cody Haddon is a pretty solid grappler. Like, he can actually grapple. He has a wrestling background and whatnot. But when I was looking at all of Wellmaker's past opponents and his stats, I mean, he has a 100% takedown defense, but all 3 of Wellmaker's opponents combined have a combined takedown accuracy of fucking 28%. You feel me? And they barely even shoot takedowns for real. So it's just like, we have yet to see an actual UFC fighter test Wellmaker in that realm of his game. We have yet to see him off his back. We have yet to see him in scrambles. So I'm hedging this one as far as betting line goes, but I would not be surprised if Cody Haddon won. But I want to pick Wellmaker, but I'm a little hesitant to pick Wellmaker at the same time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like, and honestly, like if Wellmaker loses, I don't want people to call him a fucking fraud or anything like that. I mean, a lot of people are gonna call him a fraud, but I don't even think this is like a fraud check if he loses because his opponent Cody Haddon is just as experienced. You feel me? Like Wellmaker's still super young. I hate calling young guys frauds and shit, but yeah, man, yeah, I
Yeah,
like
man.
Cody Haddon. I think there's a
Yeah,
lot
no.
of value with Cody Haddon as an underdog, so I'm hedging the fuck out of that shit for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I missed most of that. My apologies. Who's the pick, Chris? The official pick?
The official pick. It's not a super confident pick, but I'm a pick Wellmaker.
Okay, but you like Cody Haddon. You're saying it's worth watching out for.
Absolutely. Like there's a shit ton of value with Cody Haddon as an underdog. So if you bet on that'd be a good ass bet. Like I'm not gonna lie.
For sure. Toad, what do we got, brother?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Cody losing to Ursic's another one of those, well, shit, just like earlier with Jasmine Jezadivius. That's a pretty good loss. Like Ursig, yeah, he didn't become the champion by getting fucking slingshot from way in the middle of the pack to the top, but he got to go there because he was looking pretty good. So I'm not fading Cody as much as most people would because it's hard not to be a Wellmaker fan. He's got a really crisp hook, throws that shit really tight, very powerfully. A lot like Ilya's. It doesn't have a lot of snap, you know, he doesn't have that kind of figure. He's just a motherfucker in the pocket. So unless Cody can actually get this fight to the ground, we're getting a knockout. And if the fight goes to the ground, to, you know, fucking Dana's point over here, we haven't really seen Wellmaker get tested. So is a submission live all fucking day. So, you know, we'll see what this fight looks like at the end of the day, but it's not going to the judges. I got to include this in my cycle parlay for my finishes, even though these are two bantamweights. I hate doing it. Flyweights and bantamweights, I typically say, come on, you know, like a lot of these fights do surprise us judges, but not with the way Wellmaker swings. So it's gotta happen somewhere early in this fight. I can't see it going 15.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Harry from Proschmobets.
Hey man, Cody Haddon, great fighter, good prospect, right? He's coming up in this school with Wellmaker. This is like their school year. Him and the Clayton Carpenters, Marion Santos, all of them coming in, Gene Matsumoto, these flyweights and bantamweights, they all belong in that like year group, you know. I do appreciate you guys talking about how Cody Haddon is a good grappler, faced off with Urseg, but he didn't finish him. Not through grappling and definitely not boxing, knowing how chinny Urseg is. Now we're talking about a guy like Wellmaker, who is the Joshua Van of his division. May not have a black belt, but could definitely defend a takedown, man. He's bouncing back up. Cody Haddon, for a grappler he is, was taken down over 4 times from Steve Urseg. You know how many times Cody Haddon took down Steve Urseg? Fighting up a weight class, short notice, none. So I got Wellmaker on the money line.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I threw it out there. I agree with you guys. I mean, Malcolm Wellmaker is the pick. I think very, very highly of Cody Haddon. So that should let you know how highly I think of Malcolm Wellmaker. Again, there are areas in his game that we don't know about. And that's always a huge question mark when you have these young guys coming in here and sparking everybody. The level of competition has not been great. He's getting a big step up here. If he wins this fight, he's going to get a massive step up in competition as well. So we're really going to learn a lot about this kid here coming up probably on Saturday and more in the near future. The UFC for sure wants to push this kid. He's on a massive card. Yeah, I got to go Malcolm Wellmaker. I'm going KO as well. I think round 2 sounds about right. I would love to see this fight go the distance. I would love to see it get into that 3rd round just to find out more about what Malcolm Wellmaker is. Can he defend takedowns? Can he fight off his back? What does he look like on the ground? Because all we've seen is, like Toad was saying, spectacular spectacular boxing. He looks like he has really snappy power when it comes to the one shot. So we're going to find out a lot about him, but I think we're all in agreement here. Should be a badass fight, and I'm really interested. We move on. We've got another ladies fight, fellas. We've got Erin Blanchfield She's taking on Tracy Cortez. An interesting line here. -250 on Erin Blanchfield. You don't see that too often against somebody the likes of Tracy Cortez, who is a fan favorite, generally speaking, one of the better looking women in MMA. And for the most part, those ladies tend to have the lines really get narrowed because the fans are betting on them, especially on these huge cards. I would expect the numbers to narrow here. Harry, I know you have a lot of opinions about this fight. I've been seeing the posts and shit. Talk to me. What's the truth? Are you throwing people off? Are you trying to give us the real info? What do you got here?
No, yeah. If you see any comments of me supporting Erin Blanchfield through hashtags and mentions toward her, liking people's videos and shit on Erin Blanchfield editors, influencers on Instagram in the space, it's all just hyperbole, man. All sarcasm. I hope that they keep inflating it. I hope the volume of bets keep coming in on Erin Blanchfield to give us better odds live for Tracy. We could see Tracy up to maybe plus 400 in round 2, but 100% once Tracy understands, Erin Blanchfield's game, the coaches are going to do what they got to do to ensure she gets the better side of the boxing exchanges, and she will. And definitely, Tracy Cortez is the wrestler. She comes from not a collegiate. Well, you can consider it collegiate, provided the sparring partners and athletes that are at Fight Ready Gym. But she comes from a wrestling system, whereas Blanchfield comes from a grappling system. Blanchfield is not a wrestler. You understand? When she wrestles at Fox in Jersey, she's always on the bottom. She's only learning how to wrestle and develop her MMA game so recently, as we saw with Rose Namajunas and Manon Fiorot, who took her down and also won. So, for a plus 200, I'll take the disrespect on Tracy Cortez any day.
All right, MMAtoad.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Blanchfield has an obvious game plan, and she's only got really one thing that works for her. And the nice thing about Tracy Cortez is she's no stranger to the space, and she thrives quite well. She's been there, tough competition, and I guess I like her one loss more than I like Blanchfield's in the last 5. You know what I mean? Blanchfield just physically just couldn't deal the physicality. If you can shut her down and don't let her just bully you, she's really not a problem. Tracy at least will accumulate strikes, elbows, win in the actual point system of this fight, going to the judges. I'd be really shocked if we got a finish, to be honest. I just see we're going to see Tracy win on points, unanimous decision win. I'd be surprised if Blanchfield makes it close where she's threatening a submission in this fight. I think Tracy's got her there. So, yeah, I'm going to go to Cortez as well, but I'm not super in love with the pick at the end of the day because Tracy Cortez has been focusing on some other shit. You know what I mean? So
there we go. All right.
I wonder if we're going to see an eyelash. I mean, have it on your bingo sheet this week. Well, you get a fucking tit or I don't know, like an eyelash or something in the middle of the octagon from Cortez, man. She's just very, very focused on other shit outside the grind. And that's why I worry for her.
And we saw the eyelash thing happen in the Nina drama video as well. So she's doing shit with Nina, obviously.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And then Tony Trill in the chat says, how did Cortez Namajunas go again? She knocked her fucking eyelash off, man. Rose was piecing her up on the feet. So we've got 2 going for the underdog here. Lethal, are we making it 3 for 3?
No, man, I'm with the flock of seagulls. I'm a Blanchfield fan. I just don't like chicks that pick up eyelashes off the ground in the middle of the fight. I can't trust someone like that at all. I'm going with Tony. Like literally, if you're not there and you're over here, I can't put my money on you. It's that plain and simple. So wasn't she lost a tooth? And you know what? She's so focused on her social media, mate. Like, oh, she's beautiful. She's awesome. Awesome. Let's get her and Mackenzie Dern fight. We'll have 2 fucking Playboy models. We'll get them in lingerie. It'll be awesome. But I'm taking Blanchfield. All right. I think she's gonna finish this fight. I think she's gonna do it by submission. I'm gonna go against her. I'm gonna go with and the odds are definitely down under 3-1. Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez by TKO, $16. Tracy Cortez by submission, $16. Like, definitely throw something. If she finishes this fight, it will be by TKO. She'll get on top, use her wrestling. She will elbow. She will make it messy and grindy. Definitely, I could see that. I can actually see that happening. At $16 to 1, I can literally go, wow, I can see that. That's pretty fucking, and that's not even impossible. Like at 16 to 1, that's like buying lotto tickets, mate. You know, but that's not a lotto ticket. That is a reality, and Tracy Cortez can do that. But I've got Erin Blanchfield in my room, dude. I've got a little fucking thing of, I've got like 5 of 5s and 1 of 1s of her in my room. So I haven't got one Tracy Cortez card in my room, but I've got a plenty of Erin Blanchfield. So I've got to go with what my room does. I've got to take Blanchfield on this one, and I think she's going to finish this by submission. She's going to use her grappling. It's time for her to come out and shine. If she doesn't shine, this is her moment.
Yeah.
She needs to shine. She needs to shine this weekend so she can get back up there and hang out with the rest of the gang.
Big facts. And Fernando says this kid needs to respect Tracy or else, and I believe he's talking to you, Lethal.
Oh, sorry, bro. I respect Tracy, but I'm
hey, fucking Yugi boy, you just hit my trap. Listen here, Yugi boy, you just hit a fucking trap. You're the white knight of the chat. Congratulations, much love. Hey, at the end of the day, I respect her winning. I got money on her, and I'm emotionally invested on this one. Just, you know, I'm keeping my hands above the table. You enjoy the fights how you want to.
And I'm sure Chris is going to be making a gooning video.
And by the way, Fernando, I'm 52
I'm trying
years
to
old.
rebrand, bro. I'm trying to rebrand.
52 years old, Fernando.
I want to, but I can't.
Kid brother.
There we go. And then Tony Trill in the chat asks a question. He says, actual question, what is Tracy's best win in the UFC? It's probably got to be her, what was it, 3 fights ago, Jasmine Jasmine, right?
Yeah. Yes, it wasn't long ago.
With Tracy, listen, with Tracy, you have to ask yourself, what are her best losses, man? You know, Rose was a great loss. Man, you understand the limbs that and the extended reach that Rose was using to get this girl pieced up. You know, not only that, but also with the jab, Tracy was and her boxing, her short boxing, she was able to lure Rose into her range in the later rounds. Not only that, she made it through the rounds. Not only that, she looked better than Erin. You know, Erin didn't look good when she mounted Rose Namajunas because she didn't do anything. This was very different than what we saw with Dern and John DeRoba. At least with Dern, you had up kicks, you had razor sharp elbows, you had uppercuts from underneath, bro. It was hammers. It was crazy. You were scoring from the bottom, you know. So that's kind of how you have to see it. Jasmine Jasudavicius, sure. Tracy Cortez, how'd she look there? Jasudavicius is huge. She's a bantamweight. Tracy fought a bantamweight, ideally, man.
My stock's high on Jasmine. That's why I hold Tracy to a little higher regard.
Those
that's
proportions. That's Jasudavicius.
All day.
Tony Trill says, bro just said Erin's performance wasn't good versus Rose. Okay, bet. Look, I'm high as fuck on Jasmine Jasudavicius too. It was wild to see her lose the way she did to Manon Fiorot. I didn't see that. But Chris, what do you got? Erin Blanchfield, Tracy Cortez.
Yeah. So you know, I gotta tell y'all a quick little story, man.
Let's hear
so
it.
As y'all know, I be playing the fuck out of like UFC 5 and shit like that. You feel me?
Hold on. We'll go story mode with Danabblack right here.
Yeah, fucking story mode, right? So y'all know I play the fuck out of UFC 5, and my main play style is I always use motherfuckers with like really good jiu-jitsu. So I go to the stats. Whoever has really high submission offense and, you know, has to have decent takedowns, but I need my clinch control as well. That's the motherfucker I go for, right? Now, I play ranked as well, and my go-to person in like the women's divisions is Erin Blanchfield. Not because her striking is any good. Her striking is actually horrible in the game. Absolute dog shit. Slow as fuck. No,
as it is in real life.
That, right? But her submission offense is insane. Like some people, she can literally do one submission and then just end the fight, right? Now, I was actually trying to implement a game plan by, you know, like shooting takedowns, initiating the clinch, going for judo throws and shit. No matter what I fucking did, I could not get my fucking online opponent down. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck can I not take this bitch down? Like, what the fuck? And then I check Erin Blanchfield's fucking stats, and her fucking takedown rating is like a fucking 2.5 stars or some shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this bitch can't fucking wrestle? You got all this good ass jujitsu and you can't fucking wrestle. What the fuck? I was like, fuck no. This she's ass. So just because of that, I'm picking Tracy Cortez.
Boom. Let me see how
Just
we get
because
this
of that.
back to normal.
Because of the game stats.
Yeah, because of the fucking stats.
Fuck
That
yeah.
shit pissed me off. Now,
Go boys.
as far as betting, I'm gonna hedge that shit, but I hope Tracy Cortez wins. Because
Yeah.
Erin Blanchfield costed me some fucking matches. She
Okay.
ain't gonna cost me no money though, but she costed me some fucking matches, which is worse.
Hey, when they make 6 and it goes for a PC port on Steam or whatever, I'm gonna play that shit too. So we'll have to get down.
Oh hell yeah, that game fun
Yeah.
as fuck. I ain't gonna
Yep.
lie. Don't let the people talking shit about it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. The game is ass, but it's like good ass. You feel me? Like,
Yeah. I still play the Ultimate Fighter 3 with Silva on the title, throwing the knee. That was the best UFC game until they started actually fucking making them bitches recently. So I'm
hell
OG and I still play that
Undisputed
one.
3. Oh,
You got Pride, you got all the organizations. It's fucking dope. You're like
bro,
fighting
yeah.
in
Undisputed
Japan.
3 was the best one that they ever made, bro.
Yeah. I
Oh,
still
Shout
play
out
that shit.
Undisputed 3. Look, I'm split on this one, guys. I mean, I'm picking Erin Blanchfield. I'm going by decision. I just think she's a little too complete for Tracy Cortez, who I think pretty highly of as well. And I'm going to go ahead and shout out DS, who is not here with us. That's my partner who runs the channel with me. He's a little tied up and occupied for today. But he is a big believer in Erin Blanchfield. I haven't talked to him about who he's picking this week yet, but I know that he's been heavy on the Erin Blanchfield train for a while. I'm going Erin Blanchfield. I just think she's a little too much for Tracy Cortez, but I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not highly confident in it. This is a fight where I'm just going to sit there and watch it. And again, you guys are talking about throwing money here and throwing money there. And, you know, Harry knows I get down on some parleesies and I get down on some bets. I'm just not comfortable betting this fight, even though my track record is phenomenal with women's MMA. So, again, I'm going Blanchfield by decision. That makes it 2-3 on the favorite, which is a little wild to me. But we'll see. Me and Lethal are on one side. You three guys are on the other. We'll see what the hell happens. It should be a badass fight, and it's important for the division, right?
Yep.
It's very important for the division, so we shall see.
I got this one going over 2.5 rounds as well on a parlay or two. So this one probably going to the judges.
Okay, more than likely, right? There we go. Let's move on to the next fight of the night. Real quick, we got a comment. MK says, I agree with the analysis. The only difference is I'd say I'm confident in picking Blanchfield. Shout out MK. And then Tony Trill says, trilogy forming. Tracy won the first fight. Aaron wins the rematch. Trilogy for the belt. Maybe, brother. We shall see. Who knows? You know, we're not going to talk about that far in the future, but I'm sure the UFC they got Mackenzie Dern as a champion. They would love to put Tracy Cortez up there.
Tracy Cortez. Lingerie fight.
That's what I'm saying. You mentioned the lingerie fight. That screams WWE, Harry. That's some TKO shit.
No, why didn't they do that this last fight with Mackenzie with Jandarova, dude? That shit could have.
I know, but that's for a select few of us who know what true beauty looks like. Okay, I don't know if the common man agrees with that, but we'll see. Moving on, Roman Kopylov, the Russian Chase Hooper, fights a little bit different than Chase Hooper. He's taking on RoboCop. This is a fight that, moving forward from here, guys, I'll just give you a little insight on my mindset. I'm pretty goddamn confident in the prelims, and we're approaching the main card here. We're getting close. The rest of these fights, I would say on like 80% of them, I'm uncomfortable as fuck. Cancer says, here we go. He's excited to hear about this one. He's been waiting for this specific breakdown. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've already given my pick, so I'll just throw it out there real quick. I'm going RoboCop by TKO in round 2. But I'm very uncomfortable with it. RoboCop is a guy that, while he's tough and he has high finishing ability everywhere the fight goes, we know he has the grappling because we used to see it. We don't see it nearly as much anymore, but we saw him almost have Jared Cannonier out of there. He's got some cardio issues. And then Roman Kopylov was on an absolute tear, and then all of a sudden puts up a terrible performance against the guy in Paulo Costa, who everyone thought was done. So I'm really goddamn confused. I'm going to stick to RoboCop. Again, not comfortable at all in terms of betting this fight. That's where my head's at right now. I think he finishes Roman Kopylov, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say real quick. Cancer says Kopylov is explosive as fuck, but he can't handle the pressure, I've noticed. And yeah, we shall see. So any one of you guys want to take this fight first, feel free. Be my guest.
Yo, I'm just going to start off by saying that RoboCop's going to come out and look like Duncan out there with some kind of ping, some kind of fucking dink 'em and sink 'em. Like, like you just said, like the pressure is really something that Kopylov doesn't quite like the way that, you know, RoboCop's going to bring it to him. He's more measured. He likes to be at range. He likes to incorporate his kicks. This shit's coming fast. It's coming top shelf. And if it hits, it's going to set something up for RoboCop. So there's going to be blood, and this one's in by a knockout. I think it's RoboCop in the first two. If it starts to go later than that, I actually worry for RoboCop. He hasn't really been impressing me. He doesn't always send it there, and when he does, it's a fucking bloodbath, you know, and it's not always going his way. So either Kopylov's hit something nice on a kick that sets something up to counter. I see RoboCop coming in and catching him. This is another big old dink.
Boom. And Tony Trill says, was on RoboCop, but don't trust him to grapple, which is kind of what I was getting at. I got Roman 88% takedown defense, and Costa is a better striker and better durability than RoboCop, and he picked Costa in that fight as well. Cancer says, good point, Tony. I don't even know what that. Who's Tony? Is there a Tony here? There's no Tony. But anyways, oh, this is Tony. Tony Trill. Also, Roman has never been knocked out in 18 fights. Boom. Okay, Chris, you wanted to say something. What do you think about this fight?
Oh yeah, facts. Yeah, what I'm gonna say is this will be the last fight I'll be able to cover because I do got to go to work early in the morning. But I'm gonna have to pick RoboCop. I think RoboCop is gonna walk down Kopylov. I think he's gonna take a pretty solid amount of damage early on because RoboCop is fucking RoboCop. He's gonna take some fucking damage, of course. But I think he's just gonna bully Kopylov. Like I think he's just gonna get in his face on some Terminator shit, not get out of it, force Kopylov to fight at a pace he doesn't want to fight, force him to fight at a range he doesn't want to fight at, and he's going to break him. I think Kopylov's gonna get fucking broken. We've seen a nigga break before.
Yep.
You feel me? We saw him low key break against Costa. We saw him break against Hernandez. I mean, to be fair, everybody fucking breaks against Hernandez, right? But still, I'm picking RoboCop. I'm picking Obama.
All right, Chris, before you go, so you got RoboCop there. Fast. Give me your insights on these. Bo Nickel, Vieira, who you got?
I'm gonna pick Vieira.
Really? You're going
I'll
upset
pick Vieira.
again? Bo Nickel gets exposed one more time.
Yeah, I'm just not impressed with Bo at all. We've seen how Bo does against guys that has really, really good jiu-jitsu. And honestly, I think it's going to be a lot of striking, but I think Vieira is going to be more confident on defeat. Even though I'm not entirely sure as to whether or not he's like more technical, I just got a feeling Vieira is going to win. And I think there's a lot of value in Vieira as an underdog. I don't trust Bo Nickel at all to put on a good performance. I really don't.
Fair, man. And I'm seeing a lot of money coming in on Vieira. Benil Dariush, Benoit Saint Denis. Who you got?
Ooh, this is a fucking good one. This is
I know you made a whole video about
this. This might fuck around be fight of the year. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with Benil. I think Benil's fight IQ is gonna have to get him over. I'm going with Benil. I think it's fight IQ because Benil, he can weather storms. Like he gets hurt a lot, but he can weather a storm. And Benoit's a hell of a fucking storm, but Benoit is so fucking predictable. Like, I don't know if y'all saw that fucking meme I made of Benoit throwing the same fucking southpaw rear kick to the body 20 fucking times, but he's predictable as fuck. Like, he literally does the same shit every fight. Like, do y'all remember when Benoit got his kick caught by Moicano? The first kick he threw got caught and he got taken down and beat the fuck up? Literally in all of his fights, he starts with that same fucking kick. No feint, no setup, no nothing. You feel me? So Benil's game plan is gonna get him this win.
Boom. Rocky Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates.
Low-key, I think Leon has better chances of winning this fight than people are giving him credit for. I think they're just letting recency bias fuck up like the odds. I honestly think Leon should be the fucking favorite, if I'm being real. I think Leon's gonna win by decision. I think he's gonna make it boring. I think he's gonna mix in the takedowns as well because his grappling has always been underrated. I got Leon Edwards.
Boom. Sean Brady, Michael Morales, a very goddamn interesting fight.
Honestly, this might be the toughest fight to predict all fucking night. This is a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Brady. I'm gonna have to go with Brady. I can't tell you exactly why. I'm gonna just have to go with Brady because Brady's already been through his humiliation ritual of getting finished by fucking Bilal Muhammad. Michael Morales hasn't been through his ritual yet. You feel me? Everybody has to go through their ritual before they achieve greatness. So
you don't think fucking wearing that dress was enough embarrassment for him?
No, because that's just who he is. That's not embarrassing. Being gay isn't a humiliation ritual anymore.
Okay, there we go. Co-main event: the ladies, the super fight, Valentina and Zhang Weili. What do you got?
Man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Zhang Weili because I genuinely think, like, pound for pound, gender for gender, dick for pussy, Zhang Weili is
Big
the
dick.
best athlete
Damn.
in terms of in terms of relative strength, power, cardio, speed. She is the best relative athlete on the entire UFC fucking roster, and I can't never count against her. I bet against her when she fought fucking Tatiana Suarez. I was so confident Tatiana was gonna get it done. I was glazing the shit out of Tatiana, calling her the fucking female Hamzat and shit, and look what the fuck happened. She got fucking mocked by Zhang Weili. I'm
Shout
going
out.
Zhang Weili.
Shout out Weili. And then finally, main event. Who you got, Chris?
I'm taking Islam. I'm taking Islam because for a multitude of reasons I'm taking Islam. And Lethal, I'm sorry I got to do your boy like this. I know y'all are boys or whatnot, but I'm picking Islam because I know a lot of people like compare Islam to like Bilal and shit, but or like they look at the Bilal fight a lot as like reference as to why JDM's going to win. But the thing about Bilal Muhammad, he only shoots double legs and single legs. You feel me? Like Islam is going to shoot a single, a double. He's going to get you in a double collar tie and get his judo trips. Like Islam has like a million different ways to take you down to the ground in comparison to Bilal. And Islam is a way bigger submission threat once it actually gets to the ground, unlike Bilal. Like when the fuck was the last time Bilal Muhammad submitted somebody? I don't know if he's ever submitted somebody throughout his entire pro career. You feel me? No disrespect to Bilal. I love Bilal to death, but still. And also the fact that Islam is really not nearly as small as people think he is. Like the size advantage that allegedly exists between JDM and Islam, like I don't think it's going to be a factor at all. I think that's going to be the same. I think it's going to have the same level of insignificance as Terrence Crawford versus Canelo in terms of the size. Because, you know, them Canelo fans was glazing the size advantage.
Well, they got kind of like a similar frame too. This isn't like you look at these guys at the face-offs. You're like, okay, so now Makhachev for the first time won't be able to bully on size, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Islam's always had this like power and size advantage. Well, no, let's not talk just about being clipped by a featherweight and struggling by a lightweight. Like, man, JDM possesses that next level. So the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what is 10 more pounds of Makhachev and Coach Khabib? What does that look like? And I'll never fade Father's Plan. I've done it so much, and I just both betting and pick perspective, I always thought Father's Plan had limits, but man, he just continues to get it done. However it looks, he's gained.
Toad, we're gonna get there, brother. Don't give away the sauce right now.
Yeah, it's true.
We're gonna get there.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to say that, bro just cooked. I agree with a lot of his takes, but Islam's Father's Plan, man. I agree with Chris. And
then Chris, last thing. How do you see? I'm sorry. What was your method on that main event?
Oh, my method. I think it's going to a decision.
I got Islam by decision.
Yeah, I got Islam by decision. I can't see this fight going to a finish. Like, it's going to be a lot of almost finishes. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. Islam is definitely going to take a decent amount of damage, but it's going to a decision.
Okay. What do you got for method on Weili?
Method on Weili? Honestly, I got a decision on that as well. I can't see Valentina getting finished unless she makes just a massive mental blunder like she did versus Grosso the first time she fought her, where she threw that back kick, got her back taken, and then got subbed. Like, that was mostly her mistake, but I think she's learned from that since. Because the third time she fought Grosso, she didn't do nothing like that. Absolute domination. So I think, yeah, decision. Weili's going to have to take it to a decision.
Fair. Boom. All right, Chris, brother, you are good. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for joining us as usual.
Yep. Peace out, Chris.
Nice chatting with you,
man. Peace out. Yeah, I love doing these, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all energy, bro. I love doing these shits. Dino, you my guy. Y'all already know that. Proschmo. Love all y'all niggas, bro. Y'all have a good night, all right?
Take care, brother.
All right.
All right. Y'all too. Take care.
Boom. All right. So we were at Roman Kopylov and RoboCop, right? This is the fight we're on?
Yeah. Rodriguez and Kopylov, yep.
Okay. Who went? Who didn't go?
Yeah, man. Hey, Gregory Rodriguez, man. He's just going to brawl your face off, man. That's it. Kopylov could get technical in there, do whatever he wants, showcase as best he wants. Gregory's too powerful, man, too strong. His pressure's too relentless. It's nothing Kapilov could do there.
Okay. And Toad, you already went?
Yeah, I kicked it off. I think Rodriguez dinks him and sinks him. We get a knockout.
Okay. Perfect. And then let's see. I think I went as well. And did you go a lethal or no?
No, I've got basically look at the end of the day, man. I've got Rodriguez, and I know someone mentioned one of our followers just mentioned about worrying about his submission. I'm thinking I'm going to worry about his submission. So I see this fight finishing. If Kopylov starts kicking the shit out of him, he will clinch it up. He will take him to the ground, and Kopylov will. Those leg kicks, he's fucking explosive. When I first saw Kopylov come out, I went, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You see exciting fighters, and then you just see fighters. And then you see why he's won so many fights. His aggression is crazy. But he's younger, RoboCop. He just moves too far forward. He's too tough. He's too strong. And there is that submission. It is there. It is literally sitting there for him to use. So he has got that tool in his toolbox. So I have to take RoboCop as well, bro.
Yeah, I'm going RoboCop as well. The only thing that fucking frustrates me about this one is when these fighters, man, these grapplers, right? He's a natural grappler. Of course, his hands are nice. He's got great power. Dude's got a big-ass fucking frame for the division. It just frustrates me when these grapplers fall in love with their hands, man. And I know that's cliche and it's a typical thing to say, but I wish Gregory Rodriguez would go into this fight with a grappling first approach because he makes it so much goddamn easier for himself than standing and risking that with Roman Kopylov because he's got good power. So I am going RoboCop round 2, Brazil Obama himself by TKO, but a risky-ass fight. Let's move on to the next one. I was a little surprised to hear Danabblack saying he's going with Rodolfo Vieira here, the underdog. Little insight. I was at the UFC Iowa fight where Bo Nickel and RDR fought. That was absolutely crazy. I did not expect that. I went on a rant on this channel. Yep. I went on a rant on this channel saying that there's no goddamn chance that Bo Nickel loses that fight. And then he fucking loses that fight, makes me look like an asshole. I'm going to go ahead and double down on that. Not that I'm the biggest Bo Nickel fan. Not that I love anything really about Bo Nickel. It's just the fact that I think he's going to be reinvigorated. I think he's going to be recommitted and not really play any sort of games anymore. I think he got that humble pie. He knows he has to go out there and use the thing that he's dominant with, which is that wrestling. There's not many people in the UFC that can stop this man from shooting on them and taking them down if he wants to. So I think plan A is going to be immediately go get the takedown. And if it doesn't work, I don't think he's going to panic as much as last time. He's too goddamn good on the feet for Rodolfo Vieira. He's a lot better. He's sharper. He's faster. He's younger. He has more power. He's more technical on the feet. And then the wrestling accolades are the wrestling accolades. I don't imagine Rodolfo Vieira being able to take down Bo Nickel at all. So give me Bo Nickel. I'm going to go TKO round 1. Kind of reignites a little bit of the flame that he had. And yeah, that's how I see it. Toad, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to kind of echo what you've said already, help save some time. I mean, Bo Nickel, he's definitely got a higher ceiling than what Rodolfo imposes. Like, yeah, it's either one path of victory. Bo's wrestling gets caught in a very particular way. But, I mean, the weird thing about Bo is he's just not good himself in getting the fight transition to where he's comfortable. But I'm going to have a hard time fading him if we're actually having fair. I am going to say that I'm not in love with Bo's stand-up. Like, knocking out Woodburn means jack fucking shit to me, and Rodolfo at least possesses that power to do it and the skill to throw it. So can Bo Nickel take a punch? Well, we know he can certainly get fucking hurt to the body. You stick a knee or something to the rib cage. So I'm not in love with Bo on the feet, but this is going to be a grappler's delight, and he should win this one. And I think that's why they made it the way they did. Bo needs a comeback win.
Yeah, and it's the last prelim. You know how that goes. That's a showcase, right? That gets people excited. That's the last. That fight actually gets more viewers than the main event. It's free. It's on television. So they want Bo Nickel out there. They want Bo Nickel winning. I Miss Goldie in the chat says Shevchenko got body kicks this time. We're going to see. We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes. Harry from Proschmobets, what do you got? Bo Nickel or Vieira?
Oh, yeah, man. Bo Nickel, man. He's a dominant wrestler, man. You know how to shift your body around. especially with someone like Rodolfo Vieira, who's shooting the double leg whenever he's compromised on the feet. He ain't gonna be effectively landing a takedown on Bo. So it's game over, man. I hope Bo gets the finish and we could get on to the main card.
Boom. Lethal.
Mate, all day, Bo Nickel. I've actually got his Bo Nickel shirt right underneath here, man. Like, I'm all good to go. Vieira, mate, fix that cardio, old man. You're fighting a young man. And you know what, Bo Nickel, I'm going to tell you, he was embarrassed after that last fight. I've been following the shit. I've been catching up on him. And I've seen he didn't like losing. He doesn't lose. He doesn't like losing. He's going to come back. He will make a statement this fight. Yes, Vieira on the ground. All good. Look, again, there's only one way to win this fight. So many fights tonight. There's only one way to go for some of these fighters. That's why I have to go Nickel. I think Nickel gets it done on the feet. I think Nickel isn't going to be as stupid as we think. He's not a dumb man. He knows not to go on the ground with Vieira, like first round, second round. If he does, he will. I think he's going to try and carve him up, tire him out, then use his wrestling and finish him up, like Fluffy did.
Boom.
Bo also has an effective ground and pound, man. He hammers you down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He will not grapple. This is going to be wrestler versus jiu-jitsu. This is not striker. This is wrestling versus jiu-jitsu. I love this matchup. I'm a BJJ fan. I love BJJ. I do it myself. And I don't do any wrestling, man. Wrestling down under is not so much of a big thing. So we don't sort of wrestle down here. So I have no idea much about wrestling, but I know enough that PJJ cannot stop a wrestler smashing your face in, plain and simple.
Like Islam said, brother, Australia don't have wrestling.
We do not have wrestling, brother. We have kangaroos. We fucking stand up and fight down under, but we do not wrestle down here. Would you believe Robert Whittaker was picked for the Commonwealth wrestling team?
Yeah. Wasn't Volkanovski like a national champion or something?
Volkanovski played rugby league front rower, brother. Like, he was fucking full on. But yeah, he wasn't picked for the Commonwealth Games. Robert Whittaker, apparently, is one of our best wrestlers in Australia. He was picked for the Commonwealth Games to go to wrestling. He didn't do that because he wanted to do MMA. That was a true story. So with that being said, though, a bit off topic, but yeah, I've got to go. Where were we again? Who were we talking about?
Bo Nickel.
Yeah, got to go, Bo. It gets done. It's a cardio problem. It's just Vieira's cardio problem. It's just plain and simple. He's gassed out before. I believe he's going to gas out again, and I don't think you can fix that. I don't think he's able to fix that cardio problem. So, Bo Nickel is still going to be the star of the UFC. He had a setback. I lost a lot of money that day. I'm pretty sure a lot of people did. But I'm going back on the track, man. The UFC has got something in plan for him. Bo Nickel himself has got something planned for himself, and that's important for everyone to know. This is about up here, and this young man is going to work out what happened with that knee kick. And look what happened to RDR that day. All right, so Bo Nickel got one kick. Call it a fluke, call it skill, call it a bad night at the office. But look what happened to RDR the next. But look what just happened with him with the Chimaev. There's levels to this game. I think Bo Nickel's going to eventually get there. I'm a Bo Nickel believer. I'm in.
All right. And I agree with you. I think it does get done on the feet. I think Bo Nickel round 2 TKO is my official pick. Couple comments that we're going to go through real quick. Cancer says, I hope Bo Nickel's worked on more than just the overhand right. He has to have, man. I mean, this guy's such a perfectionist in everything that he does, and he knows the mistakes that he made, the embarrassment that he went through. I doubt he hasn't worked on it. I Miss Goldie says, Bo Nickel by decision. People forget, man. Bo passed the body kick of doom test, which is Paul Craig. Tony Trill, RDR was massive for 185 and had the clear edge in the clinch with the knees and the elbows. Vieira has an okay jab, and that's really kind of it. Back to I Miss Goldie. Vieira improved his cardio last time out. That is true. Cancers.
Slightly.
Slightly. Cancer says Jim Armstrong is rolling in his grave. I'm not sure who that is. Is that an Australian? I'll probably have to do a Google search. I miss Golden. Adesanya smokes Bo Nickel.
Jim Armstrong.
I don't know. We got to Google that. It says Adesanya smokes Bo Nickel. Not gonna lie, I agree. I think right now, Tony Trill, after RDR beat Bo, he beat Whitaker, which is true. But he didn't look phenomenal in that fight. To me, it was kind of Robert Whitaker isn't the same guy that he used to be. RDR versus Bo Allen. I picked RDR to who's Bo Allen? RDR versus Bo Allen fight looked bad, but he was former double champ, and Tony Trill again says only lost to former triple champ in one FC, and that was Anatoly Malkin, of course, who pulled out of his fight versus Rugrug, or maybe it was the other way around. So we're caught up on the comments. We're all going no Bickle here. We move on to the main card, boys. And Harry, Danabblack told us that he was going with Beneil Dariush. Now, you know right here, I'm a Syrian, just like my brother, Beneil Dariush. We got the flag. We got everything going on here. I picked Beneil Dariush to beat Renato Moicano, and I'm very glad and happy that I did because I got that right. Something worries me, man. MMA math does not always equal up, as we know, and Renato Moicano is the man that we have in common for these two, right? Beneil beat him. Renato Moicano beat the dog shit out of Benoit Saint-Denis. But what I would pick Beneil Dariush if this was a year ago. I'm picking Beneil Dariush. Part of me still wants to do it because I know as a fighter, he's the more complete fighter here. As a jiu-jitsu practitioner, which is maybe Benoit Saint-Denis' best part of his game besides his grit and his toughness, Beneil is significantly better, right? He's a no-gi world champion coming into the UFC, so a decade plus ago. I just did not like the version of Beneil that we saw against Renato Moicano. That age finally started showing a little bit. So while I will heavily be rooting for Beneil Dariush, I may at this point be a little tipsy, during the fight card. We're going to be 9 p.m. Central Time here. I might have a couple drinks in me and throw some money on Beneil Dariush. But ultimately, I have to go based off what I've seen on film. And I don't love Benoit Saint-Denis. I don't want to sit here and be a Benoit Saint-Denis glazer. I just know that he's much younger than Beneil. He may be at this point in his career hungrier than Beneil Dariush, who's starting to be talked about with the Jim Millers and the Cowboy Cerrones of the world in the press conference today or in the media day. And I don't know. I don't know where Beneil's head's at. He looked a little slow against Renato Moicano. So ultimately, I'm going Benoit Saint-Denis. I think he gets it done by TKO round 2. I'll say body shot. But I'm heavily rooting for my boy Beneil Dariush. Let's go lethal. What do you got here?
Mate, look, this was an easy one and a hard one. When BSD came in, wow. He's ex-military. I'm ex-military. I see that fire in his eyes, man. He has it all day. The aggression wins fights in my eyes. You look at every UFC champion that's ever come up in the world. They've been aggressive. They move forward. They fight. They don't point, apart from Valentina. We'll get to that later. But they fight. So very impressive. That Moicano fight blew my mind. I know we're all going to go back to it, but I never expected that in a million years, okay? I never expected to see my boy BSD get absolutely destroyed. That was, I lost money. I lost a piece of me that day. I was like, wow, that was I never saw it. Usually I'm pretty good at this shit, but I never saw a destruction like that. Yeah. So now here we go. I think Beneil's got better hands. He's better on the feet. I really do. I don't think he's at that. And I know people keep on going on about age, but you're talking to a 52-year-old man here. So 42, 52, 32, it makes no difference to me, man. Get out there and fight. Who's got the bigger heart? Who's going to fucking do it? I love the military aggression. And I learned my BJJ through the military. So I understand what his BJJ is all about. And you can see it. It's just about fucking getting him down and finishing someone. It's a different BJJ from when you train in a gym. In a gym, you just move and learn. The military sort of push it to next levels. They want to hurt you. And you see that with BSD. I don't think BSD's got the grappling credentials Beneil has. And I don't think BSD is as on good on feet as Beneil is. So I am going to take Beneil. Great long shot. He was one of my locked-in long shots as soon as I saw it. And I just have to sit back and go, BSD, you're going to come in too hard, too fast. Beneil, you're going to counter. You're going to move. He knows what's happening, mate. Beneil knows what's going on. There's one thing wrong about military fighters. They only have one fucking path to victory, brother. And that's to fucking walk in a straight line and kill, which is awesome.
It's entertaining.
Yes, but might be a problem for him against Beneil. I think that might be a problem. So I'm taking Beneil along those lines, guys. And the odds too. And the odds. $2.60.
And I'll let you know, Lethal. Again, man, I originally picked Beneil, but the closer we get, I kind of find myself swayed towards Benoit Saint Denis. I might flip-flop before Saturday. Real quick, before we get to Toad and Harry. We got a couple comments.
I need to see the weigh-in show. I need to see the weigh-ins, brother. I need to see how they look, how confident they are. I need to see. That's the last piece of my puzzle. You know what I mean? But at the moment, I'm always still going to go Beneil. I think Beneil and but yeah, if Beneil comes in looking like Brian Ortega, like on his last weigh-in, I'm not going to go Beneil, right? Like he's having a bad day. So, but at the moment, look, it all looks like on my end Beneil, brother.
I love it. So real quick before we get to Harry and Toad, couple comments. I just want to catch up on these so we don't fall too far behind. I Miss Goldie says, did I miss the Blanchfield fight? And then she says, I did. Yes, you did. However, me and Lethal are on the Aaron Blanchfield side. Harry from Proschmobets and Toad are on the Tracy Cortez side. I don't mind talking about that again at the end of this if you're still here and want to hear about it. Tony Trill says, no, Rugru got into a car crash days before the fight. It was in the Bangkok Post. I knew something happened. I wasn't sure exactly what happened, but that's what it is. Goldie says, I got BSD by KO, TKO. Write it down. Take a picture. That's what we're doing with it. Actually, I'm acting like I miss Goldie's a girl because it's Miss Goldie. Maybe she misses Goldie. Apologize. Or he misses Goldie. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then we got MK. The fact that Beneil Dariush got shut down by Charles Oliveira and especially brutalized by Arman Tsarukyan does not help his case. Got dropped as well in the win versus Moicano. Bad situation when you're fighting BSD. Can't forget his excellent timing, though. His spinning back fist against Scott Holtzman, thing of beauty. That's where we got the memes from. That was the Drakkar close fight. Cancer says BSD loses versus dudes with good jiu-jitsu, Hanato and Zaleski. Let's hope Dariush completes the trilogy. MK goes on to say, if we were talking about Beneil, if we were talking about the Beneil we saw against Close, that one could actually take shots and keep coming. Even though he did that against Moicano, different story. Now I say BSD round 2. And who's this here? We got True Sewell. Says, I think BSD is very tough, and hindsight tells me he survived way longer than he should have while sick against Dustin Poirier with staff, of course. Tony Trill says, if they brawl, can't trust Benny's chin anymore. Dariush clearly won versus Moicano, but he did get dropped. The Toad, the MMA Toad, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty tough fight for me because I've been pretty high on BSD at one point. Obviously, losing to Dustin isn't going to drop much stock to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big Gaethje fan through and through, and that's kind of how that story started off, right? So, you know, Benoit, he's a killer. I'm never going to fade him in a fight. He's the perfect underdog that you're scared to go up against if you're riding the other side. You know, like, I really wanted Dustin to win that fight, of course, but man, like, I was so reluctant to be like, all right, he's got staph infection. He's going to be weaker. He's not going to be able to come out and have that pressure, that vice grip, that wrestling, because like Lethal was kind of digging in on, dude's a killer. If he gets on the ground, he is looking for the finish. He isn't point fighting. He's dropping elbows, hammer fists, working up submissions. He's a motherfucker. But man, Dariush is pretty well-rounded. And it's a really tough one in that regard because I kind of have an idea where Benoit fits, and it's actually somewhere past Dariush, like earlier in the prelims. Dariush to me is more proven at a high level, and it's hard to fade him just because he couldn't beat Duke Brock's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, especially at lightweight, but also the young gun in Armin, right? So I'm gonna ride Dariush because he's proven more to me. I'll probably be betting by finish and betting on Benoit because I am a fan of how he gets it done. So
I love that.
kind of weird. Yeah, I'm gonna bet on Benoit and pick Dariush.
Love it. Proschmo.
Yeah, hey, so it would be very stupid of BSD to grapple with Dariush. What a surprise, It is true. He has an Achilles heel to grappling, despite him loving that, but he's only a purple belt. And I think he has to keep it on the feet, brawl, slug, and do his best at striking in that predictable, shot selection and strike sequence against Dariush, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. BSD on the money line. Hopefully BSD can finish this guy, use the space, but we'll see, man. Those scrambles, if there are any, okay, I'll give it to Beneil Dariush for a second round. He'll probably be a pretty wide favorite, and then Beneil Dariush just comes from behind and finishes.
Okay, so you're going Benoit Saint Denis on the money line.
Yes.
Okay.
Benoit Saint Denis.
All right, yeah.
And I'll echo Lethal by lastly saying too, the weigh-ins here is probably one of the bigger weigh-ins on the entire card. This one really does. We got to see how these guys show up. If Benoit Saint Denis is very sunken, I'm only going to consider at that point that Dariush is live for a KO of his own here.
Yeah, and again, man, I do think Beneil is better everywhere, really. Maybe it's just the grit of Benoit Saint Denis. Maybe that's all he has over Beneil Dariush, because it's not in the wrestling. It's definitely not in the jiu-jitsu. And then even on the feet, I think Beneil is sharper. He might have just as much power with those overhands that he throws. I mean, you look back at the fight against Mateus Gamrot, and that was masterful by Beneil. I know that was a while ago at this point, but holy shit, he looked so good there. There's just something with that Renato Moicano fight, and I've only seen it once, and that was live. I'll have to go back and rewatch that and then look at the weigh-ins. I really want to go towards Beneil. I just can't pull that trigger yet. Maybe we will. I Miss Goldie says, after watching Barcelos last week, maybe all the unks still got it. Maybe they do. Shout out the unks. I don't know if I'm an OG, if I'm big bro, or if I'm unk yet, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. Lethal, I'll be joining you soon, man. Not too soon, but
oh my God, I'm feeling old now, bro.
I'm already on my way, boys. We got that 36 on its way soon.
There we go. We move on to the next fight of the night, and another one that's just a fucking nightmare, man. Just a nightmare to predict. And this card is so goddamn good on paper. Me and Toad were talking about that a little before we hopped on live. This fight might be the best fight card on paper since UFC 300. It's definitely up there for the best card of the year on paper. You get to a main card where we just had Beneil and Benoit Saint Denis, and we move on to Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. A super interesting fight. Again, another crossroads kind of fight, right? We saw Carlos Prates and the Fighting Nerds, all those guys come into the UFC, get on a rocket ship, get fucking propelled to the top of the promotion. The UFC was selling the Fighting Nerds glasses and all that. And during that time, Leon Edwards was the champion, right? Right when these guys all started debuting, that was the height of Leon Rocky Edwards, Headshot Dead and all of that shit. And since losing the title in a disappointing performance against Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards has looked awful. He showed no heart or urgency in that fight until the last 20 seconds against Bilal Muhammad, and then put on one of the most disappointing performances of the year against Sean Brady. Just outclassed in one aspect of the game, had nothing to offer. The positive side for Leon Edwards here, he's facing a guy in Carlos Prates that is going to strike with him. This is not a guy that has any interest in taking this fight to the ground. I don't know that he has the ability to take this fight to the ground because Leon Edwards has great takedown defense, right? The takedown offense is all Leon Edwards. I think he does have that path to victory here. Part of me, again, is really, really split on this fight. I want to pick Leon Edwards, not because I'm a Leon Edwards fan, but because I think he's just the more technical fighter on the feet. Carlos Prates is all gas. He's all pressure from the start. He's getting these highlight reel knockouts. He's putting everybody away except for Ian Gary, of course. And that was a fight where he looked human. I really think that Leon Edwards has a good shot in winning this fight. I picked originally Carlos Prates, but I think I'm flipping, man. I think I'm going Leon Edwards by decision. And the reason I'm doing that is because where does Leon Edwards go if he loses this fight? That's got to be it, right? Does he go back to fighting guys that are ranked number 10, 11, 12 in the division? Does he retire? What does he do? I think this is a make or break fight for the rest of Leon Edwards' career. I think Carlos Prates still has room for improvements. I'm going to go Rocky by decision. Maybe he utilizes the wrestling. Even if he doesn't, I don't think Carlos Prates has a chance of finishing Leon Edwards in this fight. I don't see a possibility of Leon Edwards being sparked out. He's not a guy that quits on himself in that way, right? Maybe sometimes he lets his emotions get the best of him and he just kind of settles in a fight. I just don't see it happening in a 3-rounder, man, versus a guy who's pretty predictable, just a striker. So give me Leon Edwards by decision. How do you like that for a dog, Toad?
Yo, I love that fucking breakdown. I think you just nailed a lot of different things there that I haven't heard at all this week that definitely stand out, right? Like Leon Edwards, love him or hate him, he is more of a complete fighter than many. You got to respect what he was able to achieve in his wins against Usman. The way he showed up and was able to wrestle down. At first, we're like, oh man, he got the first ever one, and we're so focused on one takedown by Leon Edwards. And then the second fight happens, and he certainly has his fucking way from the moment that fight starts. So Leon, he's kind of a loaded gun when it comes to mixing it, but he is also pretty measured. He has that kickboxing, wants to work at his pace, his range. And that's the mystery. Prates, I think, still has yet to show everything. He's got unique tools in the kit where if a certain shot's opened up, it's really awkward, but man, does it hit and fucking smack. And Prates, he has that confidence, right? So it's a deadly combination where he's going to come forward and challenge Leon and shit that most people would never strike with him. And it's either going to look really cool or really fucking stupid. So this is a big Rubik's Cube fucking striker's delight for me. It's a puzzle that's going to be unfolding before my eyes. I'm excited for this one. This has fight of the night all over it. If we get a couple rounds of these guys doing some wicked striking shit. So I got to go Prates. I think he does actually chin Leon. I think Leon's going to try to be at range and comfortable and not be too defensive and not enough offensive. And we see guys like Cheeto, these guys, it's like, man, you're so fucking technical. Just let it go. And he's getting shut down and he's getting defeated. And I see Leon starting to break more and more against this really crazy gangster ass welterweight division, because this is the new car crash division. This is the new motherfuckers on the block. The lightweights, they're having a big graduation now, man. They've been the target dummies for UFC for fucking decades, but it's welterweight and Prates is leading that charge. So give me Prates by a fucking knockout. Give me fight under 2.5 rounds. I think we get a finish. Ain't gonna be no grappling from Prates. It's swinging. Leon needs to play it safe and grapple here. He's fucked.
Yeah, and then Cancer says if Rocky loses this, it might be time to start thinking about BKFC. I don't fucking know, man. I like what you said, Toad. This division's in sort of a weird place. Look, welterweight has, since Kamaru Usman lost the belt, right? We're kind of at a crossroads in this division as well. We have the older generation on their way out. Kamaru Usman looked great against Joaquin Buckley last time out, so we got to give him kudos for that. But since he lost that belt, I mean, we had him, take a couple losses in a row. Leon Edwards, of course, drops the belt to Bilal, who immediately drops the belt as well. In that time, we had Jorge Masvidal retire. We had Colby Covington kind of just disappear off the face of the fucking earth. And now it is those new guys, right? We have Jack Della Maddalena as the new champion. We have Islam Makhachev coming up from 55, adding something into this division. We're going to talk about Michael Morales and Sean Brady, Ian Gary, of course, Shavkat Rakhmonov. This division is shaping up to be an absolute fucking just pleasure to watch, but a train wreck unfolding in front of us. It's the older generation that's on the way out. This new generation is not quite there yet. I know that Lethal might disagree and say JDM stamped that, planted his flag or whatever, and the new gen is here. I just don't know, man. This fight is scary to me, dude. I fucking love it. Lethal, what do you got?
Dude, so, man, I posted my picks 2 days ago, and Leon Edwards was on it. So I'm not going to backtrack because people are changing. I'm going to stick with the and why. Why did you go Leon Edwards? Why did you pick the guy that looked like he broke in his last fight? Why did you pick the guy that is everyone is writing off. Why are you not picking the guy? This is what everyone. Why are you not picking Prates? Wow, explosive. Look at him. Okay, all good. Leon Edwards, 35. Prates, 32. Okay, so let's look at age. Same to me. All good. Let's look at resume. There is no fucking level in the resume. Leon Edwards ticks that box.
Yep.
Let's look at, and I have to bring this up. Eventually, smoking and drinking and partying is going to catch up with you. All right, Prates. I have to say this. I don't care about anything. This is dead real. At 32, I thought he was 25 when I saw that. I didn't know he was 32 and still smoking and drinking. You're getting to the thing. So this is a fucking big problem. I have a big problem with that. I'm a smoker and drinker. I don't smoke. I smoke weed and drink beer, but I don't smoke cigarettes. So I'm all good there. You know what I mean? But with that being said, that's a problem for me. I keep on ticking these boxes, and I just keep on seeing this Prates, right? The party boy, the guy coming in. You are fighting a seasoned fucking ex-world champion that did. I would say the first fight against Usman, I call that a fluke. Usman destroyed him the whole fucking fight. I had my money on Usman, right? All day. We all did. I never thought a head kick was. I was nearly cashing in at the end of the fucking fight. And then I lost. So that was a fluke. I'm going to say the first fight against Usman was a fluke. Good luck. You got your head kick. Usman dominated you. Second fight, that wasn't a dominate. That wasn't a fluke. That was real. They go, wow, you fucking beat Kamaru Usman. And I put Kamaru Usman up here, dude. He's up there with fucking legends, right? So he's the real deal. I have to take Leon. I think he's going to point fight. I think he's going to grapple. I think it's going to be Kamaru Usman too.
Okay. So you think it plays out similar to the second fight over the course of 3 rounds?
Yes. He's going to go back to the track that he needs to go. He cannot. And what I will say, you can't stand in front of Prates. Don't. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to stand and bang with this boy, you're going to get hit. You got to be smart. He's going to point fight and grapple his way out of this, and he'll win this by decision.
I think I'm sorry to cut you off. I think if there is one thing, I think if we know one thing about Leon Edwards is that he's never going to put himself in dangerous positions, right? This is not a guy that finds himself really even at the risk of being finished. I know he got finished on the ground last time out, but that was more of like just a lack of skill on the ground compared to a guy who's been grappling his whole life. This fight is going to take place on the feet. Toad, the only issue I have with what you were saying, I can totally see Carlos Prates winning this fight. I just have a hard time visualizing Leon Edwards putting himself in a position to get sparked out cold. Maybe it does happen, and we're just kind of.
Can I tell you why? Tell you why? I vision Leon wanting to chop and focus on the kicks and what's chopping and working down low for him and having success in the fight, and Prates hits him with something top shelf that stuns him. We've seen Leon hurt by a fainted, fatigued fucking Diaz that almost somehow sent him to the shadow realm. And I'm sorry, but when Prates connects with his shit, it hits a little different. So that's how it happens if it does happen. But I gave Edwards his flowers because, again, when you think about the fact he was able to dethrone Usman and have his own fucking reign against pretty much the entire time he's been in the UFC, some fluke bullshit with his eye. I just, again, he's a very complete fighter, and he's going to test Prates in ways that we already know that he's worse in. The question is Leon going to survive being reset on the feet with this man 2 additional times? If he gets the takedown and it goes to the ground, and even if he grinds out the round there, that's great. 1 round up, Leon, we all agree on that. But the fight goes on, and both men are at range. And Prates, he does actually fight not to get taken down. And the way that he's been able to grapple and level up in the short time that he's been here against the level of guys that he has, the Gary thing phases pretty good with me because I'm pretty high with Shavkat. And so with Prates being able to show at that level, Leon's still going to have to work for it. And it's, one of those things too. Leon ain't getting any more in his prime or any younger either. So a more faded Leon Edwards versus some of these other possibilities, I got to imagine that, yeah, Prates likely needs the knockout, and that's the story I think happens. But Edwards grinding out a decision, I could see it.
Okay. And then,
Yep.
Harry, we'll go to you because I want to have a conversation after this real quick about the state of welterweight. But go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, man. So, hey, I know you were arguing for Leon Edwards because the question is, where the hell does he go after a loss here to Prats? Exactly. So, that's the same question people were posing with Bo Nickel. But look at what that turned out to be like. When he lost to RDR, it turns out this guy now is facing off with old boy Vieira here. But with a win here, he could get Trayshawn Gore, Edmund Shabazian, Cody Brundage. So what would Leon Edwards get if he were to lose to Prats? Not sure, man. I know he's gonna have to fight down. He's gonna have to move out. That's all he's gonna have to do. He is too small for welterweight. I mean, too small for middleweight. So I doubt he'll get there. If he does, then that's your answer. But if not, then I guess the bottom, 6, 7, and 8, because when Islam defeats JDM, Islam's going to have to determine whether he's going to take Shavkat. And Shavkat's conditioning right now. He's not injured. He's conditioning. He skipped out on surgery. So he's conditioning for a fight February, March next year. That's public now. That's on record. And if Prats wins here, well, I hope Ian Gary defeats Bilal. So we keep Prats and Ian Gary as strong contenders. On the X and Y axis, and that's it, man. That's how I see it. I really did want to see Leon Edwards here. I was hoping he would be fighting Michael Morales because that's a fight he could win, but it looked like they canceled that and they decided to go with this instead. I think it's just to give Prats a leg up, because maybe the passing of the torch did happen with these young guns,
Maybe it did. Maybe it did, Harry. I have a couple issues with what you're saying there, though, man. To be honest with you, as far as Carlos Prates, I don't necessarily rank him above Michael Morales in terms of talent. I think Michael Morales, maybe matchup wise against Leon, it's a different story. I think Michael Morales has more to offer than Carlos Prates does. The problem I find here is with Carlos Prates' resume, right? And that was something that Lethal was pointing to. We've seen this guy have a handful of fights in the UFC right now. They've all been entertaining as shit. He's found himself finishes in every single one of them, except for, of course, losing to Ian Gary, which I think we all think really highly of Ian Gary at this point. But let's talk about a couple of things here. The level of talent, man. Mitch Ramirez on the Contender Series comes into Trevin Giles, beats Chuck Buffalo, which I guess was, pretty interesting at the time. Li Jiangliang, who at this point is not the fighter he used to be. Neil Magny, who's not the fighter he used to be. And Jeff Neal, who he sparked out in Chicago. Again, not the level of Leon Edwards. These guys were never at the top. They were always kind of that 8-9 gatekeeper sort of range, right? So they were never top of the food chain guys. Ian Gary kind of outclassed Carlos Prates. So I just think there's a big separation at some point. And I think we all have this in our minds that every division kind of has like a great separation somewhere, right? Where it's the top guys and then it's that second level of guy. Where the fuck is that at welterweight at this point? I don't know that we know because we've been talking about all of these guys. We haven't mentioned Joaquin Buckley, who fits somewhere in there. There's a lot of fucking people in this division. Is Carlos Prates better than a Joaquin Buckley? And do you know that for certain?
I think, man, you got to respect Buckley fucking wrestling and explosive power. He comes in like a bullfrog, bro. Like he'll come jumping in with a fucking bullfrog.
In one round, brother. Buckley smokes Prates in one round. All day.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know. And genuinely, that's why I'm asking, because I think we're in sort of a clusterfuck. And then another thing, Harry, you mentioned with Leon Edwards, I forgot exactly the point you made, but I had something to say about it where you said Leon Edwards, we just saw it with Bo Nickel. That's what you said. The question mark was what happens if Bo Nickel loses? He gets this fight. He wins this fight. You match them up against, hypothetically, Trayshawn Gore and against Cody Brundage, two friends of the channel, by the way. Love both of those guys. Both been nothing but amazing to us. But that's a big step backwards in terms of the ranking, right? And that's not to shit on those guys. But you're talk about going from RDR, who was one fight away a month ago from fighting for the world title against Hamzat,
Well,
to guys
because
that are kind of on the border of, they're unranked guys that are on losing streaks for the most part, right? So how do we move Leon Edwards from a back-to-back title fights, a trilogy versus Kamaru Usman, to fighting guys outside of the rankings? Like I just don't see that happening, man.
Fighting Buckley, you can do it. There's fights for
there's
him,
matchmaking, there's matchmaking to be made there. And I guess that's fucking Leon's problem, right? Like, win the fucking fight, or else we're gonna find out what happens.
My whole thing on Bo too is, man, that White House card wouldn't look so great if he lost another one. You know what I mean? They really helped set this one up so he could look Mr. Red, White, and Blue and be the hero back, the Captain America.
100%, and he's got to be on that card. Let me get to some of these comments because these guys are going a little fucking crazy down here. Tony Trill says Leon is comparable to Ian Gary striking wise. I reckon Gary is the better boxer, better output, and equivalent footwork. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe. Leon is a fucking technician, man. I Miss Goldie says Sean Brady does the same thing to Prates. Let's be real. I would agree. You guys disagree?
Sean Brady does the same thing to Pratt. Oh, yes.
Nah. You need a guy like Buckley to get Prats out. Buckley and Brady share the same pressure forward style, but Brady's just a little too undersized for Prats. Brady's good for Edwards because Edwards' is like an ectomorph turned welterweight. So his frame is narrow. Even Michael Morales' frame is wider, bro. His lats are wide,
far away from a championship fight. This far, man. Like, I wasn't a Buckley believer. I thought the whole Mike Tyson routine wasn't going to get him to the edge. But guess what? Mike Tyson is alive, and he's reincarnated in Joaquin Buckley all day. Every time I watch him fight, it's like, wow. So Buckley will take out Prates all day. Buckley would take out Ian Gary all day. Buckley should be, mate, I thought Buckley was going to take out Usman, but we saw our boy come back and do some cool shit, man.
That's like trying to pay Diego because he couldn't beat Volk, is the way I see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Buckley's the new boy on the block. You got to get through him before you want the belt. That striking, that's like a boom. Like, I've never seen boxing, literally pure boxing with a bit of wrestling, not even wrestling, with a bit of fucking clinch work, really work in the UFC. And that strength and power is second to none. Absolutely second to none. Unbelievable. Kudos, Joaquin Buckley. Big fan.
I agree with most of that. I would pick Ian Gary to beat Joaquin Buckley at this point in time, but I get where you're coming from. Cancer says, I talk a lot of shit about Leon. I think he's very, very boring, but this should be a Leon lock. And then they're talking about why the fuck is your name Cancer? You got to change that. Prates does not throw volume against technical strikers. He threw next to nothing against Gary for 3 rounds, which is true. That's partially true. Goldie says, I noticed that Zhang Wei Li t-shirt looks cool. I like Wei Li, but Valentina is so skilled. And I believe that's you, right, Lee? Or who's wearing the Wei Li shirt? Is it Toad?
Yeah, it's Toad.
There we go. Shout out the Wei Li shirt. And then let's see, a couple more things here. The fight being a striking match. I hope Leon goes for it more because he doesn't have to waste energy on defending takedowns. Bilal is as good as my ass cheek, left ass cheek, not the right one. And then you won't be saying that after Brady turns into a wet blanket on Morales. We're going to that. Cancer says that Buckley is murdering Carlos Prates and the casual fan base fading Leon. That's why the line is this wide. That's a question. I think, Harry, that's more so in your realm. Is it because the casuals are fading Leon because he feels like it should be closer?
No, the lines are set sometimes accordingly to live action. So he has to be wide because that has to precede some underdog or favorite going out in the previous fight. So whatever 2 fights before Leon Edwards fights Carlos Prates may end up, in some blunderfuck, like maybe a finish and a win for Beneil Dariush. So now people are jumping onto the favorite. These are, and obviously you want a wide line for that. The casinos don't want to pay you out on a short line plus 100 plus, minus 150. No, they need it. If it's pretty confident and they know that live bettors are going to chase on the next fight, it needs to be somewhat wide.
So you're talking parlay buster. That's basically the reason.
Not parlay buster, but let's say for example, what's the fight before Leon and
Benil and Saint Denis.
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's say the underdog, in Benil, he wins. Now people obviously are gonna say, let me parlay the favorite. And the favorite is
Yeah.
minus 300 press. So they're like, okay, that's locked in. And whether the casino set the line to trap you on it or to, pay you out 300 cents short of your $100, like that's crazy. People do it. Then you know what I mean? That's kind of why it exists that way.
Gotcha. And Danan Britton says Danabblack with a question mark. You just missed him. He was in here for like an hour and a half. Just got out of here. But we're almost done. We're almost through the card. So you might as well stay, hit a like, hit a subscribe button, follow everybody on Instagram like the thing at the bottom says. Let's move on, boys. We're almost at the end here. We were just talking about welterweight, and this is another fucking banger with two upcoming guys. We got Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Of course, Michael Morales undefeated. Sean Brady left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths with that Bilal Muhammad fight. I don't think anybody saw Bilal Muhammad by TKO, but then fucking comes back and bounces back and beats the shit out of Leon. And then Mike Morales, undefeated at this point, just an absolute dog. And we lost Toad. Maybe he'll come back. But yeah, go for it. Harry, give me the breakdown. Sean Brady versus Mike Morales.
Oh man, you know what that's like, grappler versus striker. However, the guy's a hybrid to a degree because Michael Morales has a judo background, and it's effective in that. Unfortunately, Sean Brady's proportions, he's rather small. So, whether he takes him down, highly doubt it. I think he's going to play against the octagon wall. He won't be successful, won't be able to lock his hands in. He's going to be disappointed. Michael Morales is going to rain hammers, man, with those strong ass arms. And that it is what it is, man. I don't think Michael fighting technically like he did against Jake Matthews is going to work here. So he's going to have to go for broke and defend takedowns and try to win on the scorecards. If they're scrambling and Michael's getting up, oh, you bet your ass he's going to knee the fuck out Brady's face. So there's no way Sean Brady is going to defeat someone like Michael Morales at these proportions with a judo background and great striking. So, had he been taller, has Sean Brady been like Islam Makhachev, Jack Della Maddalena, welterweight proportions? Yeah, 100%. But we know what Brady is. He's stocky. He's stocky. He could have cut down to lightweight, but he didn't want to. Could have been a Dustin Poirier, but he don't got hands like that. So he had to use his weight to muscle, to muscle the welterweights.
So you're going Mike Morales on the money line.
100%. Yep, 100%, bro. If I got a lot of good gun to the heads here, Tracy Cortez plus 200, Islam Makhachev by KO, TKO, DQ, no problem, plus 600. No. But if I were to put a gun to the head on this fight, it's Michael Morales without a doubt, bro. You know me, brother. I'll showcase checking accounts, savings accounts, U.S. savings bonds, whatever the fuck you want. We'll put it on the table and we'll make it happen.
Boom. And real quick, I miss Goldie says Bilal TKO'd Brady with volume. He didn't really drop Brady either. Brady will use volume and take down Morales and sub him like his daddy. And then MK says Brady's experience will be a key factor in this one. In my opinion, Morales is coming off of a win versus over Gilbert Burns, but Brady ain't 39. Plus, a lot of hype trains have been derailed. And then they expect a banger in this fight. First round banger, that is. Toad, what do you got?
Yeah, it was a nice breakdown. I mean, here's the thing, Morales, there's so many fights on this card where it's either got to be on the feet for a certain fighter, or you can expect being in these deep waters and struggling on the ground. And I have no doubt in Brady's capability on the ground, but Morales is such a motherfucker to deal with. And he is part of that complete, well-rounded generation below them that is coming up. That is, they're sporadic in welterweight of all divisions where, Morales, he's got that snap. He's got that power. He's explosive. He's so fucking young. He's the most impressive fighter for their youth in the entire UFC roster to me. Joshua Van next to him, of course. But he's one of those guys that he's going to be here for a minute, man. And he's already taking some big fucking tests. If he passes this one, he's a future champ without a doubt. I'll start betting it every year moving forward because he's going to hit a fight or two more at most before he's getting his opportunity there. And, Morales, he's definitely got that physicality on the feet, as mentioned. Brady's stocky, explosive. he doesn't want to sit there and chop at legs and try to set something up and try to act like he's going to mix it and find his opportunity. The more he's on the feet, the longer, the better chances he's getting fucking clipped and absolutely sent to the shadow realm. So Morales is a problem on the feet. I reckon he does get the knockout here. I've been watching the power training that Brady's doing, the explosive training, and man, am I worried that if this fight gets to the ground, Brady's live for finish too. So this is a parlay piece for me. Fight's not going to the judges. We get a finish, however that may look.
Yeah, I like it. Lethal.
Mate, love it, Toad. But as you know, brother, I don't go to the judges. I pick fighters and I pick the way they're going to end. So I want to be specific here. Brady is going to finish this fight on the ground. It is done. It is finished. I don't even go any further on this one, man. He's too strong. He is too good on the ground. He will take Morales down. Judo is not jiu-jitsu, okay? Judo is about throwing people on the ground and doing trips and hip locks and using grappling to get people. I haven't seen Morales is all right. I hope Morales gets Brady on the ground. I literally want it to go to the ground. So
you think he's probably smarter though? He would probably invite the fight back to the feet. Morales knows.
I can see Brady. No, I can actually see Brady learning from experience. I can see him. His coach is going, we can't be doing this. We've got to go from here to here very quickly. We can't be standing like this for 30 seconds. I believe Brady, or hopefully, will go from here to here very quickly and end up here. That is my prediction for this fight. I've got Michael Morales cards all in my room. I'm a true fan. I've got a one-on-one of his. I paid good money for it. Trying to actually complete a rainbow, but I'm still taking Brady. I'm in. I thought he was going to get the next thing to the title. So I'm on the Brady train, and I'm going with the odds. I have to follow the flock of seagulls. I'm not taking the long shot on this one, and it's not much of a long shot.
Yeah, you
know what I mean. It's pretty close. But if there was a number, it's $2.02 to $1.70. There you go. $2.02 to Morales and $1.70 to Tom Brady. It's pick 'em all thing, but this is something. We're at the main card now. I can't be fucking around. I fucked around at the prelims. You know, if Angela Hill loses, I'll do this, I'll do that. There's no fucking around here. I've got to start locking in shit and locking it in now. So it's Brady, done. Benil Darush, done. I'm locking in my bets right now. So
going with the vets. Going with the vets and not the young guns. Yep.
Yeah, as per usual, brother, because those old cunts are not too bad, bro. We're all. And by the way, sorry if I say the word C all the time. We say the word C down under a fair bit, and we swear, but I will be better with it.
That's okay. We swear on this side of the fucking pond too. You don't got to worry.
Yeah, I'm glad. Hopefully, because we swear a lot down here, man. It's just part of our second language.
All right, so real quick, I'll just give my take on it again. I already dropped my input on this on the quick picks, and I don't know that it's changed too much. I agree with what Danabblack was saying before he signed off. To me, this is the toughest fight of the card, and there's a couple reasons for it, man. I understand that Sean Brady is a fucking tank of a human being. This dude is thick as fuck. He's powerful. Toad mentioned the powerlifting he's been doing. We saw that on Embedded. He's training with NFL strength and conditioning coaches, and the wrestling has never been questioned. There was that shock to me because I'm a guy that always I just never believed in Bilal Muhammad, and I still don't to this point, right? I think he's a good fighter that kind of overreached what his potential should have been, got himself, not to call it lucky, but just got put in a great situation, right? Had a long winning streak, fought a Gilbert Burns that was injured, fought a Leon Edwards who quits on himself, and it was just the perfect storm there. But to see Bilal put the hands on Sean Brady was very disappointing to me. I understand that was in the Middle East. I understand that the reason Bilal was able to put the hands on Sean Brady was because Brady was worried about the takedown, right? That's how Bilal gets his striking off. It was just disappointing, man. And last time out, a great performance against Leon Edwards. But I worry, man. I worry because Michael Morales, undefeated. This kid is a fucking beast, man. He is also a tank of a man. Completely different body shape. Completely different body, composition than Sean Brady, but this kid is big as shit for 170, man. He looks a lot like these 185ers. I mean, in the same weekend I saw him and Brendan Allen, there wasn't much of a difference between the two. This kid can probably fight at 85, but he's young enough to be making 170. He is disgusting. I will stick with Sean Brady, but I'm not confident at all. This is damn near 50-50. I would not be surprised at all if Michael Morales beats Sean Brady, and I do think Michael Morales is in the future here, he's going to be a guy that's going to stay in the top 3 for a long time. I think he's going to be a top 3, top 4 guy. I see him fighting for titles at some point. I don't know if he ever crosses over and becomes a champion, but this kid's well-rounded, man. He has the grappling experience, the striking experience, the power. He's a fucking beast, but give me Sean Brady by decision. I'm not betting this. I know you're saying you got to lock in Lethal. Maybe you do got to lock in. To me, this is just not the fight to lock in on. This is maybe the last one of the night where I just sit back comfortably and watch just a fucking unbelievable MMA fight. Top level guys at 170, the future of this division.
This is a fun fight by finish fight. If you really want to bet something and sweat for a knockout, sweat for a submission, sweat for a choke or a knock. This is a fun fight by finish fight.
Yeah. And I think it's just a fun fight as a UFC fan, as an MMA fan. If you like fights, this is a fucking banger. So, yeah, Mike Morales is my pick. Let's move on. Let's not waste too much more time. We get to the co-main event.
I need to go for 2 minutes to check on my puppy. 2 minutes to check on my puppy.
Do your thing, brother. We'll be here. Let's check this comment real quick. He says, Cancer says, I'm gonna fade this off my parlay, to be honest. I Miss Goldie says, not against Brady. And then Trust says, Marab shows us how useless wrestling is without finishing ability, and Brady has that. I would fucking disagree. I'm a huge Marab glazer. Marab is probably my favorite fighter in the UFC. He finished fucking Sean O'Malley. And how is that useless? He's dominating everybody, and he will continue to dominate Peter Yan for the second time. Go fucking argue with the wall. Anyways, we move on. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili, guys. A fucking really interesting fight, man. A legacy fight for both of these ladies. A true super fight, which is rare in women's MMA. The two GOATs of their division, right? I don't think anybody would argue that Valentina Shevchenko is the 125 GOAT. There is a couple arguments maybe that Weili is the 115 GOAT, but I think she certainly is. So we've got the two GOATs of their divisions. Weili, of course, leaves the belt, comes up against Valentina. I think this fight couldn't happen at a better time because both ladies, to me, are, they're in the twilight, right? They're getting towards the end of their career, but they're not too far off in age. They're not over the hill yet. I think it's the perfect time to get a women's super fight. I love it. Two of my favorite fighters on the roster, especially when it comes to women. Toad, you got the Zhang Weili t-shirt on, so I'm going to let you go first. It looks like you got a dog in this fight.
Yeah, I just want to state that that last point you had made too about the damage received by Brady to from Muhammad. That's just a really good take there too. That's part of why I picked Morales, even though I was scared. So good read though, because that's definitely like a weird thing that stopped me from believing in him. But the power training he's been doing is risky too. So just want to give you a shout out on that breakdown because that was a good take. That again, I didn't hear otherwise than I had thought about even. So cheers on that. Weili, she's a fucking dog, man. I was at UFC 300 and I saw Yao Xiaonan be choked the fuck out and stumble back to her stool thinking, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. And all I really need is that fight by finish and Poatan by finish, and I'm cashing the fuck out in Vegas, like big, a life-changing amount of money. So I was going fucking nuts when I saw this woman live being an absolute fucking bullet. Now, what a funny nickname Valentine has against someone like Weili, because I don't see Shevchenko being on the gas the way that Weili likes to fight, and that's either going to be to Weili's path of victory or her demise. I do fear about Weili eating the perfect kick to end her fucking night because she's done it to me only a few times in her career, but man, does it change the trajectory. But when you want to box with Weili and you want to wrestle with Weili, she is a motherfucker, and I just see her still at that height of her division and doing what she's doing. Whereas Bullet, we've seen it kind of start to teeter a bit as we reach this vet, status. Now there's two beautiful things that can happen from this fight. Weili gets to become a champ status. I don't give a fuck that Dana is making you resign your last belt. Same to you, Islam. If you're getting to go up in weight and your very first fight is a title fight, you are a champ in my eyes, right? As long as you were defending the belt as you won this shit in a way, or your last defense, your last fight. Or Valentina Shevchenko does it again, you know, wins and breaks some hearts at the same time and just shows that she's still here at one of the highest levels ever. But I hope if Amanda comes back for Harrison, it sets up Valentina Shevchenko's very own super fight, is what I'd love to fucking see. I would love to see Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko run it back if she got this win. And that would be a beautiful sunset opportunity for Shevchenko to really claim back, not just because of one fight or two fights, but no, of one of the greatest women's fighters all fucking time, Amanda Nunes, and took the throne. That'd be like that Usman, Leon. It's just a very good story. So I love it.
So you're going Wei Li. What was the method?
I'm gonna respect Valentine's durability. She's tough to finish. She's a well mixed martial artist. She knows what she's doing in its grappling exchanges. Again, she's not the one offensively hitting the gas pedal. She's not the one going out and hurting and breaking down her opponents. She very opposite grinds out. And when the fight's not going her way with the striking, she chooses to transition to fight. She chooses to grapple, and she's always had a great advantage there. Wei Li, I think, changes that entirely with her. And I see Wei Li winning on control time and just peppering strikes. I'm not doubting Wei Li's capability of getting a submission. Grasso did it. Wei Li will absolutely pepper and be a fucking dog on the ground if it gets there. And the way that she'll roll and spin and just continue to wail on Valentine. So I could see her getting her back and finishing the fight via choker or some ground and pound. But I'm going to respect Justin taking Wei Li plus money, take her as a money line, and enjoy the fight and just hope that she achieves, history, becomes a champ, because she's definitely one of the greatest to ever do it. But we know she's human. Hit that fucking kick. If Bullet's got one more in the chamber, that would be a beautiful, comeback story for Valentine.
Yeah, we saw that kick with Rose Namajunas, right? That's where the worry comes from. Harry, what do you got on this fight?
Yeah, man. I think the UFC is like over the Chinese market, man. It's not reputable at all overseas. MMA is not. It makes no money. Zhang Ming, however you say that heavyweight prospect's name, got knocked out by Johnny Walker. That was really the promise, to help at least their market, build it up again. So Mahashet, all these guys just collapsing. So then you go and you beg the question, man, how can you matchmake Valentina? Can you matchmake her into the White House card? 100%. Do you want to matchmake Wei Li into that White House card? How? Wei Li is incredibly undersized for flyweight. Let's just start there. Incredibly. She's coming out with boosters on that stage. You'll see for the ceremonial weigh-ins. Can you imagine a flyweight Wei Li moving up to bantamweight? I mean, Shevchenko's done it to face off with Nunes. But can you imagine Wei Li doing it? Absolutely not, man. Proportions matter. Not only that, Joanna Jędrzejczyk was piecing Wei Li up right before the spinning back fist landed, and she knocked her out and injured Joanna Jędrzejczyk at that. So, yeah, man, I just think that, for 3 fight camps now, Shevchenko's conditioned herself around offensive wrestling and good strike defense. So to avoid boxing combinations and power from Alex Grasso, and then the offensive wrestling, because that was Grasso's Achilles heel. So 3 camps. I mean, we're talking 3 fucking years, man, in addition to these months completing that. And yeah, man, I think Valentina's been around the sun too many times already, man. So what she's going to see is a very simple fight. Yeah, that's really it, man. What I'd love to see after this is Valentina versus Ronda Rousey. That's what I'd love to see, man, if that's possible at all,
It's not gonna fucking happen, Harry. Ronda
I know, but you're asking what I'd love to see, what I mean?
All right, so I'll give you my input on this, man. Look, I just got to start off by saying, Harry, you know this about me, and for the other two right here, maybe you guys aren't as in tune with the channel as Harry is, obviously. I go out there and I tell it how it is when it comes to fighters that I like, right? And these are 2 ladies that I am a massive fan of. I love both of these women. I like greatness in whatever sport that is. whether it's basketball, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, for example. I'm from Chicago. We fucking hate LeBron James in Chicago, but I can't disrespect the guy because greatness is greatness. I like seeing greatness prevail. So when you see two athletes of this caliber, it's just amazing, and I'm going to hate to see one of them lose. It's a major disappointment, but I don't think losing this fight really hinders or deters any one of their careers in any way. I think what they've done, they've done. Of course, a win, another notch on your belt, another scalp is always nice, but I fucking love both of these ladies. The problem I'm seeing in this fight is the fact that Wei Li is just too small for Valentina Shevchenko, man. I don't know that I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibilities that Wei Li's a better wrestler, but Valentina is so much bigger than her, man. I've stood next to both of them, and there is a big difference in size. Zhang Wei Li is small. Yes, she's powerful. We saw her pick up Francis Ngannou, but that's a willing Francis Ngannou, right? That's not somebody that's fighting back. So I just think Valentina's wrestling as of these last few years, Wei Li's got the better wrestling, but Valentina's not going to allow her to do that to her because of size. That's the way I see it. So give me Valentina Shevchenko by decision. I wouldn't be surprised if it plays out the other way, but I'm fairly confident in it. Harry, you know that I have only been wrong, and now I guess after last fucking pay-per-view, 3 women's fights over the course of the last 6 years that I've ever been wrong on for title fights. It was 2 up until fucking last month because I chose Verna Janjanova to win that fight. But I just don't see it, man. I think Valentina's too complete and too big for Zhang Wei Li to be able to do what she wants to her. Let's think about what Wei Li does well on the feet. She blitzes really goddamn well. She has this patented where you could put like a shadow on Zhang Wei Li, and she does that little blitz kind of like, Juliana Pena does. You would know that's Zhang Wei Li. Valentina Shevchenko's too technical for that to work, and she's too long-bodied for that to work. So that's what worries me in this fight. I think it's actually going to be pretty boring. Give me Valentina Shevchenko by a point fest, staying at range and then utilizing the wrestling when she has to. I just hope it doesn't end in a knockout. I don't want to see any of these ladies hurt. So let's go. Let's go. Let's just get a great fucking fight. Lethal.
All right, brother. I'm going to go off the last word you said. This fight's going to be very boring. I agree with that to start with. Okay. Also think those fights are fucking boring. All right. So let's just start with there and we'll fucking work upwards. All right. Okay. Boring fight. Why is it going to be boring? This is why. Everyone's why. Wei Ling's a monster. Shevchenko is a fucking stylist, dude. That chick is perfection. That chick is this chick. That's my girl, right?
Yeah.
That's Shevchenko. She's the perfect warrior. As far as I'm concerned, she won the second fight against Nunes, all right? She lost the first one, but she won the second one. She's the greatest female fighter in the UFC, not Nunes. Not by Nunes doesn't have 8 diamonds on her fucking thing. She might have 2 belts, but she didn't get 8 diamonds. Old mate would have filled up the belt if she beat Grasso. Like, come on, man. We're right here. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about a woman that's dedicated her life, like Bruce Lee, literally. She has no boyfriend, no girlfriend, no nothing. She just fights, flies, shoots guns, speaks 9 languages, and trains. I can't go past that dedication, dude. I just can't. It's impossible to go past. Wei Li is going up in weight class. Shevchenko went up in weight class to fight Nunes. She actually went to the bigger person. Now she's back to where she's now. She's, in theory, she's still fighting a smaller person. Literally. If Nunes wasn't at 135, Valentina would have 2 belts. I'll throw that up there. Okay? Yeah. I'll throw that up there right now. She would be the first female double champ. All right? Guaranteed. So, with that being said, I love Wei Li. I think she's great, but it's when you put your 2 favorite fighters, and it's not like you can pick. They're my 2 favorite female fighters, like literally.
Yeah.
I've got to go with the woman. I've got to go with the 8 diamonds in the belt. I've got to go with a training from 4 years. I've got to go with I am dedicated this entire thing to my life, and this chick is not going to take it away from me. Shevchenko has one skill. Her fight IQ is so high, that's why she wins everything by decision. She will not lose this fight. She will not put herself in a position to lose. Like we talked about Leon Edwards versus Cartes. Harry, we would not, Leon would not put himself in a position to lose that fight. He's too smart. Yeah. Shevchenko's going to go the same way. I'm taking Valentina by decision. There's no finish here. It's going to be a long, dragged out fight. Get a coffee, feed your dog, come back in the second or third round. Might get exciting. But bar that, I'm not being rude either. I'm just probably having a coffee break on this fight. I'm literally going to walk away, go, wow. All right, I'm going to have a look at my parlays when I come back after 25 minutes. I'm going to have a piss, shit, Billy, feed my dog, go for a walk, come back, and then I'll check my parlay because it's Charles Sonnen said this today, if you watch this pod. This is meant to be the super fight of women's MMA, the super fight. Literally no one's talking about it. It's not being promoted that much. Me, I just told you I'm going for a toilet break during it. I watched the first round. If the first round is what I expect it to be, I'm out for the next 20 minutes, man. I've got shit to do before the main event. That's where I'm at, but I'm picking Shevchenko.
Boom. All right, couple comments before we get to the main event here, and I know that's why everybody's here. Miss Goldie says, Weili got knocked down by Yan Xiaonan 3 times and taken down 3 times by Yan. Weili cannot hold down Shevchenko. Shevchenko will frustrate Weili with her patience on the feet. MK says, Valentina has not finished the fight since 2021. Miss seeing her get those brutal knockouts like that head kick against Jessica Ai. I still see her getting a unanimous decision in this one. Overall, she's just better in my opinion. Miss Goldie says, I promise you that Weili cannot hold Shevchenko down. She will struggle to take down Valentina. Also throws in that Manon Fior is stronger than Weili, I feel like, which maybe. Cancer says Weili going to be eating kicks all night. Miss Goldie says Shevchenko will be collecting her 10th ruby on the other side of her belt as she takes over China at Madison Square Garden. And then we hear, will we see a trilogy with these two? I don't think so. I mean, unless Valentina. What is it?
Do you want to see a trilogy? Like, I don't even want to see the first one. I don't want to see anything.
The only way we get a trilogy in this one is if Weili wins the fight, they give Valentina an automatic rematch. We get some fuckery in the rematch where we have to do a third fight. That's the only way that happens. Wow. It's a little too late in their career.
Eye poke. We'll get an eye poke.
Maybe. Shout out to Tommy Aspinall. Miss Goldie says I'm going to have my eyes glued to the TV on this one. And then finally, Cancer said this fight will definitely be a banger. I mean, look, I get it. Maybe it's definitely not going to be as entertaining, like pound for pound, as the fights before it, because this card's fucking crazy. But it is important for what it's worth to women's MMA. Anyways, guys, we've wasted a lot of time. Let's move on to the main event of the evening. And obviously, I know, Lethal, you have a dog in the race. And from the other two gentlemen, we're going to hear from you. But personally, this fight, to me, is going to be one of those nerve-wracking fights where I'm nervous. The heartbeat's fucking elevated before the walkouts. I'm pacing around my house. I'm doing the last-second stuff, grabbing a drink, making sure the table's set, doing all that bullshit, putting my shit on Instagram, and then I'm sitting down nervously and switching positions 1,000 times throughout this fucking fight. We've got the new champion at 170 pounds, Jack Della Maddalena, Perth, Australia's own, and he is taking on the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the UFC, the former lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev, who vacated his belt to come up to 170. Before we get into this fight, a couple things of note. Jack says beating Islam Makhachev and finishing him puts him at #1 pound for pound. I don't know about that. We can talk about that if you guys want to. I think Ilia Topuria, Merab Dvalishvili, a lot of guys have a claim to that #1 spot. Now, the second part of this, everyone's been talking about the size, right? They're talking about the size difference here. And I've been hearing some people say that Jack Della Maddalena is a big welterweight. I think that's a common misconception that's going on out there. I think he is a rightly sized welterweight, correctly sized welterweight, maybe even a tad bit small. He says he doesn't have a bad cut at all at welterweight, that he potentially could fight at 55, but he chooses not to do that to his body. And Islam Makhachev, a big 155er who always has fit in at 170. So we're finally going to get to see what Islam looks like, what Father's plan looks like at 170. Does Islam surpass Khabib on the all-time list if he wins this fight? Has he already done that from what he's done at 155? There's so many goddamn questions in this one. Does Jack Della Maddalena get a title defense and put himself in that rare company of champions who have defended their belt? Because that's when they say you're really a champion, right? Ton of fucking questions about this fight. I'm going to start with Harry from Proschmobets. I'm going to give you your full screen time, Harry. All right, I accidentally gave myself the full screen. So there you are on the full screen. Talk to me about this fight, all angles, whatever you want to discuss about it. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I don't expect anything short of Islam becoming a double champ here. I don't even see how competitive this could be, aside from Jack Della Maddalena being pretty strong defensively. So it's not like Islam could pierce through in the striking, but definitely once they start getting into grappling exchanges, I could see a ground and pound finish for Islam. So there's no question, man. Maddalena has got a lot of years of MMA experience. He started young. He was like 14 years old when he got serious. Before that, he was doing rugby, because it appears that's all they do out there. In Australia, it's kind of like their sport, like for us wrestling here in America. And I mean, it's two different systems, man. You're talking about Islam, who has collegiate wrestling systems, in and out of collegiate systems because of DC in America, like Sambo overseas. You're talking about a guy that has a Russian tie snap to what Jack Della Maddalena could offer in the wrestling department, right? I mean, we've seen him get taken down by nearly all his opponents. He scrambles well and he controls the top as well. I'm not going to, take that away, but no one as credentialed as Islam on his resume. So I think that he's developed grappling experience as a result of MMA training. This guy Jack Della Maddalena, but again, does not have a credentialed background in it. So if you were to say, "Hey, come to America and let's go to college, NAIA or NCAA Division 2, 3," he'll challenge there, but NCAA Division 1. I don't know. You're talking about a guy in Islam who, when you see him against the octagon wall or he's being coached, he's being told, yo, pin arms. So your opponents, can't defend. Pin arms, right? In Russian, they're shouting, yo, use your legs, to trap movement, use your legs. And he's doing these quirky things in there that almost paralyze his opponents, collar ties, chain wrestling, ground control. I mean, the dude is the best of the best. So yeah, man, I'm going with Islam Makhachev by ground and pound TKO.
Boom. Okay. Toad, the floor is yours, brother.
Yo, I just want to give a big shout out to you guys for having both myself and Lethal on. I know it kind of expanded the show out a bit, but it's been nice hearing everyone's kind of perspectives on this. And yeah, I can't say it enough. We've been geeking out on fights for, quite honestly, almost the entire show. So this will be the best card since UFC 300. It may even surpass in certain moments tonight or, Saturday night. It's going to be fucking crazy. So again, much love. Definitely everyone follow, subscribe. We'll definitely get some socials floating around tomorrow. And just, again, appreciate you guys. Father's plan on this one. It's hard to deny Islam. I kind of broke in earlier and said after Chris's recap, damn, like I have a hard time fading Islam, man. He's just been continuing. Like, he can dig deep. He can actually start to lose and start to get wobbled, but he will fight through and he'll continue to go forward. And he only There's just a mystery in this fight. We don't know what 10 pounds more on Islam looks like under really strict and excruciating, conditions. Like, he is one of the hardest training mixed martial artists in the entire world, and he's a very dominant one, and he's a fucking leader. And there's this whole, preconception of Islam Makhachev that was him to Khabib. Is he this, that? What would this fight look like? And in my eyes, this is his time to finally set himself apart officially as being just something better than Khabib Nurmagomedov. So I think if Islam passes the test, Father's plan, he deserves to go down as one of the greatest champs in martial artists in UFC's history, and he officially becomes part of my Rushmore. Because this is proving it. You're no longer the size bully. Jack has a similar frame, but we know it possesses power at this weight class. We have no fucking idea what Islam is going to look like at this weight class. And so if his Muay Thai goes out the window, his clinch, his bully, his way of just mixing his striking and being fucking game, if that all goes out the window because Jack is just somehow taking away that power advantage he's always had, and this fight remains on the feet, I hate to say it for Islam, but Jack is going to go down in history looking really fucking awesome for knocking you out at the highest level that you've ever been. So,
yeah. So you're going Islam. What was the
Yep.
method?
I'll take Islam by submission. I think he's just a fucking, he'll take you to deep waters and drown you. And Jack's done really good at this, but Islam might have some speed, something much quicker and slippier than Jack's been used to. These big, tall, fucking 170 giraffes that have BJJ. Islam's a little fucking lizard, dude. He'll get you on the ground and jump your fucking back and start, working backpack, left, right, trying to slip something or elbow crash you. Like, he's a fucking dog on the ground. But again, I can't say that I don't worry for Islam, though, because I do. He's struggled against 145ers and 155ers and getting cracked. So if this fight ends by knockout, it's probably from Jack, but I expect Islam to get a submission, or it's going to the judges.
Boom. All right.
Yeah.
Lethal. We already know,
Okay,
brother.
well,
You've hinted at it, but you go ahead.
All right. We've got 3 Islams. We've got 1 Australian left. Me.
I haven't said my, I haven't said my piece yet.
2 Islam. So where I'm going to go. Obviously, JDM, Australian, boom, boom, boom. Let's pick the Australian because I'm loyal. All right. Can I explain, if you give me a few minutes, what an Australian does, sport-wise? All right? Okay? This might give you a bit of hindsight of where. So, sport-wise, we don't go to karate gyms. We don't. Only in the last 10 years we have because of the UFC. Take that away. Prior to the UFC in 1993, right? I was 25 in the army then. I was all good. Prior to the UFC in this country, what the fuck was that shit? It was illegal to this country. Rugby, cricket, AFL, soccer, swimming. We do every sport in the world, okay? And if you go through all our world champions, we've got them in everywhere. And boxing was a major one. All right, go through our history in boxing, right through from the beginning of world champion boxers. Middleweight, Joe Bugner, who fought Muhammad Ali twice, was the first person who went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali. He's an Australian, so we have a massive boxing heritage here. Jeff Fennick, if you've ever heard of him, 3-time world, we have a massive boxing implement in this country. We fight in pubs. We use our hands. We don't fucking fuck people in the ass and bring them to the ground and fucking jiu-jitsu them, okay? We don't wrestle them in this country, and we definitely don't throw around flying wheel kicks in this country, all right? So we're not fucking ninjas either. We box. And when we box well, as you can see. All our Australian fighters have great hands. Have you noticed that? Right? All their hands are pretty fucking good. So let me go from here. This is a country built off all sports and not one sport. Islam is built off one sport. And this is my problem. Like, I'm going to back my boy. All right? I have to. But Islam is built off one sport. He doesn't go surfing. He doesn't play cricket. He didn't do rugby. He just did his shit. And training at 14-year-olds in this country is pretty old, actually. Like, if JDM started training at 14, that's pretty fucking old. Islam didn't start training at 14. I'm going to throw that out there. Yeah. You know, I started training at 14. So I'm just going to throw these things out there about the Australian perspective. The other thing about the Australian perspective, we're very casual. He hasn't got a Khabib in his head driving him right now, like father, right? He's just got his coach in his head going, oh, mate, she'll be right, mate. It's all good, brother. You'll go in, you'll do your best. You'll get this done. The mentality between the two cultures is crazy. And this is what's confusing me about this fight. Because you got a warrior, and I did 2 posts yesterday, Toad. I did one with Khabib's training camp with 2 samurais, and I did a post of JDM's training camp just running into the surf, right? And I know who's doing what, because I know as an Australian, JDM is pretty much relaxed, dude. He's not stressing about this fight. I can tell you that. Inside he is, but he's not. So that's the cultural bit I'm going to give you. The technical bit I'm going to give you is JDM is fighting at 170 naturally. He has got no issues. He's not even cutting weight. He's eating pizza in New York. He's all good. Islam is not cutting weight either. But Islam has also said, I feel so good. I feel free. Wow, how free do you feel?
He's at his actual weight class is why. He's at his actual weight class.
Are you getting more lazy? Is it like, oh, wow, like, I'm just
he's hungry. He's hungry for it too, is the thing. He's very hungry for this.
So tight. This fight is so tight. I have to look that tight. It's no longer about numbers here. This is no longer about anything. This is about Islam's got the grappling, and he's been doing it since 4. JDM's been training since 14. Right? There's no comparison there. On paper, Islam wins this fight. Right? I agree. I'm an Islam fan. Huge fan. I just have a feeling. I don't think Islam's going to look. Islam took 5 rounds to do Dustin. I know everyone's a big fan of Dustin over there, but over here in Australia, Dustin's just another fighter. He's just another dude that never got the belt. All right? It's just plain and simple. So, Dustin, all good. Down. I believe JDM is way better than Dustin in all categories. I believe JDM's striking is way elite. We all know that. We all know his striking is fucking crazy. So let's sit here. Okay. I told you I had 2 parlays going. Right? My 2, Islam. JDM. I don't understand. And again, everyone's talking about father's plan. Let's go one more time. Father's plan. What's his plan? What's his actually plan? Take him down, jiu-jitsu him. What is father's plan?
To be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, but he only had one plan, Toad. He only had one fucking plan. Even when he fought in one fight and then Khabib started striking, father said, don't. He's got one plan and one plan only, okay? And it works. It's amazing.
He leveled that up so much when he fought and had adversity from Volk, though. His Muay Thai.
Again, Khabib's not taking his plan. He's taking father's plan. He's taking his dad's plan, right? And he's taking his dad's plan, and he's hoping his dad's plan's going to work. It nearly didn't work against Volk the first time, all right? Let's see whether father's plan works this time. I don't think father's plan's going to work. I'm out. JDM wins.
What's the method?
Finish. On the ground. I'm going to pick it. Ground and pound. Strikes. Not on the stand.
I would fucking love to see that. I would love to see that.
All right. So
All right.
I will go JDM ground and pound finish round 4.
Love it. All right, and then I'll just give you guys my take on this. Look, there, as far as the technical, there's a couple ways to look at this fight, right? There's of course the technical, the X's and O's part of it that of course you have to cover anytime you're talking about a fight, especially of this magnitude. But then kind of going to what Lethal was saying there, there is an X factor side of this fight, right? There is this intangible side of it. Let's talk about the X's and O's real quick. Obviously, and again, you just alluded to it, father's plan. What does that mean for Islam Makhachev? Well, we have at this point a history of not just Habib and not just Islam and not just Umar and not just Usman Nurmagomedov, but we have the whole school, all these guys that came up through Habib's gym and Eagle MMA and all that kind of shit. We understand, generally speaking, what their game plan is. And it is out-grapple your opponent, take them to deep waters, get them tired, drown them, right? Whether that's a TKO, whether that's submission, sometimes it is riding out for a decision, but really it is that ground game. Now, a lot has been made of Islam Makhachev's striking. I've heard some people say that Islam Makhachev's striking is elite. I don't believe that. I think at times it can look phenomenal, but again, that's due to kind of what we were talking about with Bilal Muhammad, right? Where the threat of the takedown is so goddamn much that it leaves their opponent open on the feet. I don't think anyone would mistake Merab Dvalishvili for, to be a better striker than Corey Sandhagen, right? But we saw Merab almost finish Sandhagen on the feet because Sandhagen was so goddamn preoccupied with the takedowns. So there's something to be said there, and that's why Islam's striking has looked great at times. We know that with Volkanovski, he mixed it up in that second fight. He started changing levels and eventually caught Volk. I don't like to look too much into that fight, first and foremost, because I am a Volkanovski fan, a massive Volkanovski fan, but more so because I just don't think that the matchmaking was fair at the time, right? It was a 10-day short notice. It was a chubby Volk, so I don't think we learned too much from looking at that fight. What we do learn with Islam Makhachev is looking at that Dustin Poirier fight. I think you were right, Lethal, in drawing some comparisons to that fight because that's the most similar guy that Islam has faced to Jack Della Maddalena, except for the fact that he's much smaller, much older, and has taken much more damage in his career to that point than Jack has at this point, right? Jack is a super goddamn sharp boxer. Jack has good takedown defense from what we've seen in the UFC. Great scrambles. We saw some of those versus Bilal Muhammad. But I really think that these two, when it comes to the X's and O's side of it, both possess the perfect strength to defeat the other fighter. With Jack Della Maddalena, I think his best skill in MMA, of course, is his boxing. But to a more minute detail, it's that pocket boxing, right? He does a great fucking job in the pocket, mixing up levels, mixing to the body, staying in there, causing damage, just getting out of range and returning. He's fucking disgusting inside the pocket. Where on the opposite side of that, we've seen Islam's worst part of his game is literally in the defensive side of that. We saw Volk crack him in one of those situations and drop him to a knee. I don't know that he was credited with a knockdown. Of course, the famous loss that Islam has on his record, that's how he got knocked out. We saw Dustin tag him up and hurt him in those exact exchanges. So that's where Islam is bad, right? He steps into the pocket, chin kind of up, just returns hooks whenever you've got him backed up and you're exchanging in the pocket with him. I don't like that at all for him. On the opposite side, though, Islam is an absolute opportunist on the ground. He's got great wrestling, but I think besides the fact that he knows how to win rounds, and that to me is his best quality, his second best quality is quickly snatching up submissions. I was watching the Jack Della and Bilal Muhammad fight the other day, and Jack was having some great scrambles, but I saw some positions where I was like, Islam would have snatched his neck up there. And maybe he doesn't finish Jack, but there'd be some danger there for sure. Other side of it, when we talk about the X factors, right? There's the Dustin and Jack comparison, which I just mentioned. There's the Volk and Craig Jones combination. How much does that play into what we see here? Craig Jones is a guy that has prepared Volkanovski for a full camp and made Islam Makhachev look human in that first fight. So he's been there, done that. He seems to know what the recipe is to stop these Dagestani wrestlers. Does that play into this? How much has Jack learned from both Volk and Craig Jones? I'm interested to see. So look, I think this is dangerous throughout the entire fight.
Sorry,
But
brother, did you see that clip where Madalena subbed Craig Jones?
Yeah, where he slept him. I did see that.
I did see that clip.
I wonder how much of that was, like propaganda, them wanting that out there to kind of scare Islam from shooting a wayward shot, right? So I think there was a purpose to putting that video out. I think what these guys do is very calculated. Jack Della Maddalena's team, I think Craig Jones is a cerebral mind in this game. I have no doubt
that happened. I believe that happened. It actually happened. They filmed it because I know Australians, right? We don't post shit out for fucking YouTube shit. I know we don't.
Yeah,
that happened, and then they posted it with his permission.
Sure,
Craig Jones' permission, because Craig Jones is a fucking monster, man. He wouldn't let that go out without permission, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that was let out, and that actually happened. So I'm telling you, that is real footage. That happened, and that happened between two Aussies. And they're just like, hey, you did that. JDM's got some shit going on.
Yeah, look, I trust Jack Della Maddalena, man. I think he is a phenomenal fighter and, again, possesses the tools possible to beat Islam. And as of late, we've been seeing a lot of this crew specifically, not just Dagestani fighters, but this crew kind of have their worst fights, right, and take some losses. We saw Umar lose to Merab. We saw Usman at this point twice in a row against Paul Hughes. I know he won those fights, but a lot of people think he didn't. Right, so we've been seeing close fights with these guys, and maybe the rest of the world is finally starting to catch up and figure out the recipe to beat these guys. I will be rooting heavily for Jack Della Maddalena, but I ultimately have to go back and choose Islam Makhachev, and I'll tell you the reason. It's because for years and years now, I've been saying that Islam would be the best at 170, and I don't feel it would be proper of me to back up and pick another guy to beat him. I'm heavily rooting for Jack Della Maddalena, but one more thing that is very goddamn important in this one, guys. This is the first time in fucking years, that Islam Makhachev is going to be facing a fighter that he's A, not bigger than, where he's not able to bully them, and B, where he's not significantly younger than them. I mean, it was Volkanovski twice. One time it was Fat Volk. It was Dustin Poirier, who was on the last leg of his career. It was Charles Oliveira, who, while we all love Charles Oliveira, this isn't the same Charles as we saw previous to that, right? In the Olive era. So besides that, Renato Moicano, Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, I mean, like, what the fuck is that? He's younger and bigger than all these guys. So I'm interested to see what he looks like against a guy his own size, and we get an even, fair fight. I'm rooting for Jack. I'm picking Islam. And then, yeah, I hope I'm wrong, guys. I hope I'm fucking wrong, and I'm with you, Lethal. And maybe when Jack wins, you send me a message and we take a shot together. How's that?
Brother, I really hope, like, honestly, at the end of the day, all I'm going to say, the only thing I'm worried about Islam is going up in weight means it's not your natural size. If it's not your natural size, you might have problems there. Bigger means you use more oxygen. More oxygen means you get more lactic acid. It all drills over 25 minutes. And the only other problem, and you just mentioned that too, brother, was, hey, the legacy a few fighters have lost. Umar, they've all lost during the thing. And again, we'll go back to Father's plan. Is that because they keep on using Father's plan? Maybe Khabib should bring in his own plan and be Khabib's plan. Maybe you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Father's plan. This is Khabib's world now. This is his world. Don't worry about Father. God bless you, bro, but you're gone. Khabib's plan. And maybe Khabib's plan in his head is slightly different from Father's plan, but everyone's saying, don't go off the formula. Don't go off the formula. The formula's not working right now, brother. So let's
he
have a
does
look.
kind of give like a superpower. Like you get like a bonus aura. Like you get a buff when you go in the octagon and Khabib's in your corner because he plugs in.
Oh,
unless you're
any
Merab,
other
man.
fucking coach. Yeah, unless you're Merab.
Toad, I'll tell you what it is, man. And really, this plays a big part in it. It's when you go, a lot of people go in there and they fight these guys expecting to lose. Or maybe if it's not necessarily expecting to lose, they go in there with like this this preconception that if he takes me down, if he takes me down, I'm fucked, right? That's kind of the approach that a lot of these people take. That's not the approach to take. And I don't think Jack Della takes that approach. He is a man's man. He's going to fucking march forward. You need to bring the fight to these fucking guys. You need to bring the fight to them.
I'm going to tell you one thing about this culture down here. And this is dead serious, man. Dagestanis have their culture. Australians are laid back, but we have no issues at all. At all. Daily, whether it's a supermarket or a pub. We have no issues having a fucking blue. It is built into us. You know what I mean? Like like the Kiwis, like the New Zealanders. They're a Maori tribe. You're like Izzy's and Carlos Olbergs and those toughers. That shit's real. That shit is inbred into them, man. You know what I mean? We're not a warrior tribe like the fucking Kiwis. No way. We're a prison colony that decided that we're just going to fucking, hey, we're just going to fight people. Don't steal from us. We'll be cool. But we have no issues doing that. And I think you see that with all Australian fighters. Look at all your Australian fighters. They all move forward. They all have a purpose. And the purpose is literally to win. And not by points. They want to finish it. They want to go and have a beer afterwards, or a shoey, or whatever we do, a barbie. But we are a culture of definitely not warriors, but we don't mind a fucking blue at all. And I think that makes a big difference. So when you're asking about will he walk into fight, yes, he will. Yeah, yes, he will.
I don't doubt that.
I'll put my culture on that because he's born and bred in Australia, and I know a true Australian man, which JDM is. He's actually in Perth. I did all my schooling in Perth, brother. Like, I know Perth. I know the place. It's a very relaxed attitude he's going to have when you hear him speak. It's very cash. When you hear Islam speak, it's, I am going to do this. I just don't know. I think sometimes being relaxed can be better than having a Habib in your corner telling you to kill everyone.
Yeah, and a lot more pressure on his shoulders.
Yes.
Cancer comes in the chat and he says, if you think about it, lately Islam's opponents have not had a full camp. He points to Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, Renato Moicano, Volkanovski the second time. And then the first time with Volk fucking worked Islam, in his words here, with a full camp. And if they did have a full camp, they were leaning towards the end of their respectable careers like Dustin and Charlie Olives. And I agree with that, man. A lot of Islam's legacy is a little shaky. But look, guys, we've been going on for 3 fucking hours. So we've all given our advice here. We've all given our picks and our input. And I think at this point, we know for a fact that we are set for a fucking unbelievable pay-per-view, the second to last pay-per-view of not just the year, of all time, because we move on to Paramount Plus here stateside. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this year to be done, to be honest with you guys. I'm ready for these next 4 to just fucking be done and move on to January and bigger and better things. But again, I will be rooting for Jack Della Maddalena in this one. We've got me, Dino Bam Bam from D107 MMA. Down there, we got MMAtoad. That right there, that's Lethal. And right down there, that's Harry from Proschmobets. Go give these guys a follow on their Instagrams, like the thing at the bottom says, or if you're watching on your phone, it's the thing at the top. You can also follow everybody here on YouTube. Those will be linked down once the description of this video comes out. Fellas, anything else from any one of you before we sign off?
No, for all my tadpoles catching this on our end, make sure you reciprocate and show our friends here some love for having us on. This was very last second sporadic. I think I heard a different day, different time at some point. So it's appreciated you guys for still having us on. And sorry again to Mr. Black for skipping out on some of his time there with us. But I look forward to seeing some of his content and his breakdowns, as I know that he'll get pretty toxic on the mic and do his thing, and I love it. It's fucking hilarious. I'd love to see that collaboration with Guru, so got to echo that from earlier too. Pro, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Also, this guy, the schmo over here, very methodical. His breakdowns literally tell a fucking story of fights unfolding away. It's art. And to my new friend up here, absolutely killing it on the host side. And I know I took you off course along with Lethal here tonight, but you did a great job of steering us back into the fights and the content. So to all our friends in chat, please again drop some comments, some likes to the YouTube videos and shit like that, and repost. And Lethal here didn't mention it, but he's got a killer giveaway. Lethal, talk about your rainbow giveaway that you're going to be doing for this card.
Really? I think everyone's go to bed, man. Okay, but what I will do this really quickly for all my brothers, and thank you guys for having me on. I know you don't know me, but I'm here, and I know it's really late there, but it's only 2 p.m. here, so I take a day off work. All my staff's at work. I sit back, and usually I do a pod with Toad, but it's been really enjoyable shooting shit with multiple people. I'm glad going back and forth. We all have different ideas, and look, MMA math, man. We come out, we win, we lose, but just shooting shit, getting knowledge from everyone, that's crazy. That's awesome. Also, by the way, I am doing the giveaway, all right? You want to see it? So this week, I've got because I'm representing Australia, there's a full rainbow. It's a Thai Vasa giveaway, but I've got the full rainbow here. Right, so it's a full 1-of-1 mojos, and it's all for free. There's no raffles or money involved. It's just back to the community, man. Every week I try and do something cool. So get onto Lethal Hand Collectibles, DM me, just say hello, and you're in the draw. So far, Toad, we're up to 55, brother.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to randomize it, download the thing. Put it out there, but you know what? It's for collectors. This was more about you guys haven't seen my room. There's a whole nother side, but I like to give back, and I'm not doing too bad in my life, and I'm happy to give something back because I know what it takes to do what we do. Spend the time. It must be 1 o'clock over there. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna cut this shit out, man. I love you guys. All of you. Keep in touch, and I hope you invite me back again. Much appreciated. It was fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah, of course, brother. Anytime, and it was nice having an Aussie on here, especially when we got JDM in the main event. Harry, what do you got for us, brother?
That's all, brother. You already know. Proschmobets.com.
Boom, you heard it here first. That's what he says. All right, guys. So for the rest of the boys, Lethal, Toad, Harry from Proschmobets. My name is Dino Bam Bam. This was D107 MMA. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. We'd love to fucking hear from you. Were we right about these picks? Were we wrong? Are we fucking idiots? You let us know. Okay, so I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's fucking go JDM, all right? Take care, fellas.
Go JDM. Aussie.
Out.
Hey!
Croaking and smoking.
That's
Let's
right.
go.